Welcome to the final battle for liberation. This is a 4,000 point game between Orks and the glorious 13th. And we welcome back to the channel, Sullivan Gilbert. Say hi, Sullivan Gilbert.
Hi, Sullivan Gilbert.
You've been here twice before with the Orks twice before. What happened in those fights?
Well, we found out what happened on the right flank. We found out what happened on the left flank. It's a bit nip and tuck. All to play for going into the trilogy bout, and we're going to find out today what the final outcome is.
So this is Return of the King. This is Return of the Jedi. This is part 3.
Well, I'm not so much got a return going on because you keep killing my war bosses. So I brought a whole new crowd along today. But we will be interesting to see whether Sol Garro shows his face and we have return of your...
No, listen, look. So in the first fight, there was Sol Garro.
He came in over here. He stayed down and the big threat was way over here. Right. It was as far away as he could have been.
But did he die?
No.
Right, second fight.
Second fight, he jumped into the middle, surrounded by his Praetorian of 10 Terminators.
Like a hero.
And there were 10 grots just here. Right. They polished off the grots, and then he did nothing else the rest of the game.
But did he die?
He didn't die.
What happened to your boss in Battle 1?
War boss in Battle 1 took a Storm Raven to the face, and he's currently recovering from that.
And then in Battle 2, what happened to your war boss?
Baba G took one too many Thunderhammers, so he's in a bit of a bad way at the moment as well.
So you got a new war boss?
We've got several, actually.
Leading the way
is Penelope.
Penelope's back.
Penelope's back.
The trilogy.
The trilogy.
This is whether the 13th break the back of
No. This is whether the Urnblad can finish the job and break the 13th. We're the good guys.
We're the good guys.
We're the good guys.
Take a look at the armies. Right, this is not 4,000 points worth of Space Marines. This is 4,000 points worth of Space Marines, and I'm using the Gladius Task Force today because the ability to fall back, shoot and charge with the Tactical Doctrine might come in very handy, as well as the Assault Doctrine. Anyway, we're split into 2 parts. So, Brother Captain Sol Garro is up in the battle barge.
Boo!
And he's sent down today Chief Librarian Sagan Mir to direct traffic. He's up above because once the back of the Orks is broken, then he's got to direct all the orbital strikes in and kill all the other ones out in the wastes and things. So this is the first company of the 13th. I've got Razorback, Dreadnought, Stormhawk, Predator, Land Raider, 2 drop pods, 2 units of tactical marines, 1 with melters, 1 with plasmas. They'll go in the drop pods. 2 units of devastators, 1 with multi-melters, 1 with las cannons. They'll go in the Razorbacks, because when you jump out of Razorbacks, you can reroll a wound. The 10 Terminators. Some in Land Raider with Sagan Mir. Hammonators just deep striking in. That's all of those guys. Over here, second company of the 13th. I forgot to look. There's 19 assault intercessors. I've got 1 more to put down somewhere. Anyway, 19...
He's in recce at the moment.
He's already checking out. 1's gone off to see what's going. So 10 assault intercessors, 20 intercessors, 2 units of fast strike turbo, the jumpy dudes, aggressors, Redemptor Dreadnought, repulsor, execution. Lots of stuff. The idea at 4,000 points is we have some anti-tank or anti-gargantuan squig-off. We have some anti-infantry with all the light shots shooting around all over the place, and we have some maneuverability with drop pods, jumpy dudes, Stormhawk intercessors. Yes, that's the first time I've brought Stormhawk intercessors in the Warhammer 40k 10th edition, because there's no minuses to hit them anymore. You can just shoot flyers like you're shooting ground things, which doesn't feel right to me. But Orks, well, Orks hit on Ork, so maybe they'll be okay and floating around for some time. Anyway, that is exactly 4,000 points worth of the glorious 13. And as ever, Sullivan Gilbert has brought down lots of big, stompy, mechanical conversion Orks. This is bang on 4,000 points worth of Orks. And what's going on here then?
What we have in game 1,
yes,
my war boss,
yes,
Ednat Urnblad, took a Storm Raven gunship to the face.
He did.
But then, the Orkuna Matata brought down said Storm Raven.
I have no recollection of that whatsoever.
And, Penelope saw it as a good bit of loot.
Yes.
And if you just give me a couple of moments...
A few moments later.
And what we have in their place are a Chinook, which takes advantage of the back end of a Storm Raven, turned upside down with the wings that fell off, reattached in a different configuration.
It's got bombs on and everything.
Yeah, 2 bombs, so when it flies over a unit, the pilot can push a bomb off and drop it onto the unit they passed over.
That's a bunch of commandos that are going to be jumping out. Right, yeah.
Can you see?
You caught a cat.
We caught a cat!
We caught a cat.
Cat's in charge, clearly.
The cat has clearly got the more brains, and this is the front half of a
That's
Storm?
the front half of a Storm Raven. And I think if you go to one of your forward operating bases, Penelope said we need some tracks.
Right.
So the boys went out, and you've probably got a Rhino sat up on bricks, and we nicked the track units from it, and so we've made a battle wagon.
What wonderful conversions. So this is a battle wagon.
Battle wagon.
This is a Chinook.
Chinook, legends.
You kept the blue on it.
Well, blue's lucky. With Death Skulls.
Yeah.
We like it.
It's really lucky. What else have you brought today?
Would you like to start with the vehicles or with the characters?
Let's start with the big uns at the back.
So let's start with the biggest of the big uns. We have here the Combine Harvester.
Right.
Because the story here is the guts of that model is a Britain's Combine Harvester that I have had since I was probably about 7. It's probably my oldest possession. I'm over 50 now. So that is, it's older than 40k. It's probably older than Citadel. And it adds stuff to it. And it is today a mechanical gargantuan squig-off.
Brilliant. Brilliant. I love it. And you got a baby squig-off as well.
A baby squig-off.
Baby squig-off. The ones with the legs, squig-offs.
The ones with the legs, squig-offs, they count as monsters, even though I've quite cleanly made them, but we're using a monsters data sheet. And this one here is a Gear Guts Mech Shop print from the chap who did that huge battle with Dave, Mini Wargaming Dave, a year or so ago.
Awesome. So those are awesome.
Yep.
I recognise the Hakuna Matata.
Yeah, the Orkuna Matata.
Yeah.
It's a problem-free philosophy. We're back again. Oh, I saw he rolled his eyes, ladies and gentlemen.
Rolled my eyes.
He rolled his eyes.
I've got a big grin on my face as well, though. This counts as
a kill tank.
This is a kill tank, gargantuan squig-off. Gorkanaut and Morkanaut.
Gorkanaut and Morkanaut.
So for those that don't know, the Morkanaut is the red un and it has the 5-up invulnerable saves with the shields.
Got the little
and that's anti-tank. And the Gorkanaut is typically the yellow un, and that's got all the anti-infantry stuff.
That's correct.
And they do have a transport capacity, so stuff can get inside.
Yeah, they can carry 12, so they'll be carrying units of 5 Meganauts and a character.
Meganobs. Right, okay.
And they're also Gear Guts Mech Shop models again as well, if you were interested.
Another battle wagon.
Over here we have a battle wagon that I call a lifter dropper, because if you've ever seen Epic from way back in the day, they had these fantastic guns on them. So it doesn't have a stat line in 40k, it's just a kill cannon.
They used to be so cool. They used to literally pick something up and then smash it into the ground until it broke apart.
And that's narratively what will be happening today. It doesn't shoot ammunition at you, it just picks you up and gives you a good old shake, rattle and roll.
Nice, okay. What else we got?
So we've done these.
Yes, big uns done.
We've done all the big uns. So let's go to the characters.
Okay, all right.
So, in the first game, you casplatted the war boss of the war. In the second game, you casplatted the second in command. So we've got a bit of a power vacuum going on.
Right.
Now, Penelope is my warlord today. Penelope usually runs as a big mech. But because she's leading this, and because she thinks she's a war boss, and everybody else thinks around her that she's a war boss, I'm running her as a war boss data sheet today.
Okay.
With a super cyborg body.
That's very cyborg cover. Look at it.
Yeah, so old rogue trader dreadnought. There's not a square inch of green skin on her, so she might not even really be an orc. We're not really sure what goes on in there.
Definitely a super cyborg of some kind.
And we've got the little chap here, the OG Makari, who's playing attack squig for her today to remind me about the extra attacks that she gets with an attack squig.
It's the real Makari model.
Yeah, from way.
You are so old.
I am.
I'm really old as well. It's fine.
We are.
We're wise. We're like fine wine.
I wouldn't say wise. We whine maybe a lot, but anyway. So we've got Penelope.
Yes.
I then have 3 more war bosses who are vying for supremacy in the power struggle that goes on. I've got the first war boss that I painted way back when COVID happened and I got back into Orks.
Okay.
His first outing was a bit ignominious because my son's He put Twin Bright Lance to the face and downed him in one, but he undeterred. He's come back.
He's come back.
Regular war boss.
Got an attack swig with him.
He does. And he's got whatever the enhancement is that gives him and his unit +2 move.
Okay.
So he's fleet of foot.
I think it's follow me, lads.
That could be the one.
He's keen.
He's very keen.
Right.
We have here Boss Zagstruck, but he's clearly not Boss Zagstruck. That's the data sheet. And last time I was here, I was saying how I wished I could bring a war boss with a jump pack in Death Skulls. Because we haven't really got Death Skulls, I can bring him along. And so he's playing war boss. He'll be leading a unit of Storm Boys in today. He brings the plummeting descent, so he gets to re-roll his charge on a turn that he's set up on the table.
Brilliant, because your Storm Boys have never made a charge when they've came in from reserves.
We don't remember the what now?
You have no recollection of that whatsoever.
Rather like it.
Every charge they made was glorious.
They've done nothing useful in the first 2 games whatsoever.
Yeah,
So
but now we've got re-roll charges.
Yeah, so we had re-roll charges before, but they still did. Yeah, we had. Here we go. And then the final war boss is the chap in Mega Armor, and he's going to be bringing a unit of 5 Mega Knobs into battle with him.
Okay.
And he's got Ed Waters' Kill Chopper.
Right.
So he's got the Devastating Wounds Kill Chopper.
Nice, okay.
Other characters, because we have got a lot of vehicles, I've got a lot of mechs.
Nice.
So starting off over this side, we've got a standard mech. He's, I think, Rodney, and the one way over there is Plonker, and we are going to be doing a Peckham Special Robin Line 3-wheeler buggy of some sort in the future. Thank you, Pickleneck, in the Discord for seeding that idea.
Okay.
We have
mechs can heal vehicles.
Mechs can heal vehicles.
And make them shoot better.
And they can shoot better. And given that the ones I will put them with will have firing decks, they'll be giving that +1 to hit to some of the chaps inside those vehicles.
Okay.
We have here a big mech with custom force field.
Right.
Who I still think remains the only model I've painted out of the
Indominus?
Yeah, the last, the Indominus box set. So
the one before Indominus.
Yeah, he's the Judiciar with some Ork.
He's a Judiciar?
Yes.
Look what you've done to my boy.
This is how it was meant to be.
This is clearly an improvement. Right.
Then we have a Meganop Big Mech with custom force fields.
Yeah.
Thinking here is late game. I want to have a little bit of stickiness on the table so you don't just shoot me off. So those custom force fields could help me out late game. I'm hoping. We've done these 4 guys. We've got the Big Mech shock attack gun because it's still pretty hilarious.
Sopping up squids and
zopping them out.
Things. Right, okay.
And now we have a weird boy, Grotto, who in game 2 did some decent work, actually.
I remember him with his magical stick.
Yeah, so he's got his teddy bear head of a dwarf, puts the magical stick behind it, and the wire energy shoots out. And what's really cool at the moment for Weird Boys is if he sits in a unit of 20 boys, each 5 of those boys gives him +1 strength and +1 damage to his precision Edbanger ability. So that could be strength 10, damage 5, precision coming out on a turn. If I can make that happen, that will be glorious.
Thoughts of Edbanger are giving me PTSD back from when Civitas came. Had his head blown up.
By a certain Say Hi Paul, and we love him for it.
Yes.
Well, you might not.
What a glorious moment.
And then some units. So we have from over here, we have some looters. Unfortunately, the varnish came out a little bit white on those. But
I didn't even know looters still existed.
Well, apparently they're synonymous with Death Skulls, so I thought to bring some at some point.
Okay.
Got a little unit of tank busters who get a couple of bomb squigs, one of whom is actually a bomb grot. Archon John, thank you for the idea of using him as a
bomb grot.
He looks like he's living his best life. It's probably going to be a short life, but we have that going on. Unit Storm Boys,
which won't make the charge.
Oh, they're going to be glorious. Knobs with combi weapons and claws.
Yeah.
Knobs, all claws. Some of them are kill saws, but kill saws aren't on the data sheet anymore. So they're all claws.
All claws.
The Anthill mob and the unkillable mob Clyde, who's been here twice before and he's back for more.
And these are all knobs as well.
No, these are just boys. These are boys. These are just boys.
Okay.
And they will be accompanied. Oh, one character we forgot is Mad Doc Grotsnake.
That's the OG.
That's the model they used, GW used in 91 when they introduced Gazkul Thraka and his Merry Band tours. So that was the Pain Boy knob that they used for Mad Doc Grotsnake.
We're so old.
And on his shoulder is an even older figure, because that is the Snotling Sawmaster From the Dwarf with Inferiority Complex limited edition from about 1985, I'm going to guess.
Brilliant.
I've no idea what happened to the Dwarf. I think younger Sullivan Gilbert sold him when eBay came out when I was at university. But for some reason, and it was destiny, the little snotling survived and he's still with me.
Nice.
So he's going to be sat with that unit.
Yes.
More Meganobs.
More Meganobs.
Twin kill saws, unit commandos. They're coming out the chopper. It sounds rather cinematic. The Shinork's going to swoop down, kick out some commandos, and then do some stuff.
Definitely living their best life then. This looted thing, the blue one, it's lucky they're coming in.
They've got a couple of commando big shooters. They've got a rocket.
Bomb squigs on the way
reach
in.
Around. They're looking forward to
they're
this.
All going da 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 da.
I can well imagine.
Brilliant.
And then the unit of 20 boys who are going to be coming in with the War Boss and the Weird Boy.
Okay.
So they're probably going to get minced right up and early.
Well, you put the Weird Boy with him, and then they're to jump in, and then they're red banging, and there could be some danger going on.
There could be. And I think, sir, that is why Ernblad today.
And that's 4,000 points on the nose.
4,000 points on the nose.
Plus 1 internet point for you, sir.
Thank you.
And here we are after deployment with 4,000 points on the table. We're doing lengthways. I don't think I've even spoken about the battle yet. Have we spoken about the battle yet? Well, it turns out that you brought 27 units with all your characters. And I've got 27 units as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, because this is the eye of the storm, what I like to think is this is the eye of the storm, and there's 100,000 point battle going on, raging around all over the place. But here in the eye of the storm, the 13th are finally going to break the back of Ernblad.
The good guys are going to rid the galaxy of the evil menace of the Imperium.
Orks. Yes, that's what's happening here. And when the 13th win, the planet of liberation will be liberated.
No. We are saving the planet of liberation from the Imperium.
Right, so what we're going to do here is, this is going to be the critical moment. Does the 13th, by the way, actually, because the 13th are currently taking part in a narrative in Monthax in the Sabbath Worlds cluster. Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying is this battle happened about a year before.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, because, I mean, when did you first come down? How many years ago?
Year and a half ago?
The first time was a year and a half, was it? Yeah. The very first time. So it's a year and a half ago. Because we already did, the first fight happened a week ago, the second fight happened a week after that, and then this fight, this is 3 weeks in against this massive war, against this thing, and now finally, we break the back of the Orks and free the planet.
Give your audience a little insight into what really has gone on so far. In game 1, on the left, the Orkuna Matata was declared the bring it down target for the 13th, and they failed.
Okay.
In game 2,
yes,
the Gorkanaut was declared in turn 1 as the bring it down target, and they failed. So the 13th have so far gone up against 3 Lords of War in the first couple of battles and have yet to put a scratch on one.
How many Lords of War you got today?
4.
So I've got a 0 and 0
so they're
win
safe.
rate.
They've got a 1-up invulnerability save against the 13th, I think.
The Lords of War. This time, actually, I mean, there's a lot of narrative thought behind your list. That's why you've broken out so many big ones. That's why none of the war bosses from your previous engagements are here today.
All the battle wagons that you've splatted, they haven't come back. All the buggies, any of the vehicles. So.
And you've borrowed a Storm Raven gunship.
No, it's mine.
It's yours now.
It's mine.
So
you're not getting it back. Here.
So much narrative going on here. So what we've decided to do, because this is the critical moment, it's going to be tactical AF. We're just going to kill each other. It's as simple as that.
I can cope with that.
You're going to cope with that.
Yeah.
It's going to be 1 point for every unit you kill, and then we're going to add up all the things at the end of the day and find out whether liberation has been liberated or whether liberation has been liberated by the Orks. Also, because it's 4,000 points, and we're not doing cards or anything like that, it's double the number of points of a 2,000 point battle report. So instead of getting 1 command point a turn, we're going to get 2 command points in every player phase. Yeah, so by the end of turn 1, we'll have 4. By the end of turn 2, we'll have 8, because you're going to get 2 in every single player turn. But what we don't know is who's going first. You've got a couple of reserves off the board, like the Chinook and things like that.
And everything is starting off in vehicles, so in this one there's some Meganobs, in this one there's some looters. This one's empty at the moment. Okay. This one's got more Meganobs, this one's got the Antil Mob Boys, There's a unit of Storm Boys here. This has got Penelope and his knobs, and this has got the tank busters and I think the Big Mech shock attack gun is in the Chinook. So there's everything starting off.
You put a shock attack gun in a Chinook?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
What can go wrong?
Okay, and then Storm Boys deep striking in.
Yep.
Chinook coming in as
and
well.
And the big blob of boys are coming in as reserves turn 2, 3.
Because they can deep strike.
Yeah, at the end of the movement phase, they can jump so they can deploy and then flip.
I like it. Librarian in here, Sagan Mir with some Terminators. He's chilling in there. Devastator squads there. I've got 2 drop pods streaking in through orbit. 2 units of Jumpy Boys. 2 Stormhawk Interceptors zipping across this battle grid as well. I've deliberately set up the table with some open areas here or there for 2 reasons. 1, really big things need to get through the gaps, and 2, it needs to be brutal at 4,000 points or we'll be here till midnight. The battle mat is from urbanmats.com. These things are from urbanmats.com, and there are Orky outposts, which I imagine are on this battle grid, and that battle grid over there, and that battle grid over there. All of these ones are from gromlech.eu. First turn.
Shall we roll off?
First turn.
Best of luck, sir.
Oh, best of luck to you too. After you. That's 6. I didn't want to see a lovely winter's face right now. I got 1. That wasn't very lucky and blue of me, was it?
Very lucky for me.
It's Orks turn 1. So shells are falling on distant hills and waves of boys are mashing against waves of blue, and down here in the eye of the storm, wow, Umblad bust forward. The only unit advancing is the Storm Boys coming around, and they ended up here. Potential first turn charge for them if they want to, but that is a long charge. Everything else just clanking forward. They have the advantage. The 13th are holding firm. Hold, and inviting them onto the guns. No wah being declared at this point.
Yet.
But there's going to be plenty of Orc shooting coming out in the shooting phase. We're opening up the shooting phase with a mechanical squig off, this one here, firing down into the Razorback. I'm not employing any stratagems yet. Big cannon hits on a 5, and that misses. There's looters inside, look, it's got a firing deck, so they're firing at the same target as well. 5s to hit. You hit a couple of times.
Well
done, the Orcs. It's 5s to wound, and there's a wound. -1, plenty of cover, 3 up, I'm good. Now the Morkanaut is firing at the same target with a custom Mega Zapper. D6 plus 3 shots, and that's the big 9 shots. 5s to hit. Nice. A strength 10, you're winning on 3s. And well, there's the diddly gun, the 3-shot gun. It's got one of the big ones, one of the other ones.
Yeah, so we've got the rocket launcher for D3.
It's 2 of them, 2 rocket launchers.
Come on.
Right, 6 shots. And a bunch of hits. Wounds on 4s. We have 2 wounds. -2 becomes -1 because of covering things. That's 3 damage.
3 damage.
Just a Mega Blaster. 3 shots. They
All
miss.
And twin big shooter.
We did the twin big shooters. Anti-infantry. No more damage caused on that Razorback. It's lost 3 wounds, but you fired 2 hazardous guns.
I did.
So don't roll snake eyes.
Don't
roll snake eyes. No overheating of the weapons yet. Moving down the line, the kill cannon on this battle wagon is targeting this first dreadnought. D6 plus 3 shots, and that's maximum number of shots again. They definitely loaded up the ammo in the ammo hoppers, which means some of these shots are actually hitting on 5s. I like it. Strength 9, toughness 9, no, 8, 9, something. I think it's 3s or 4s. We'll check it in a minute. I have to check it.
One.
It was strength 9 versus toughness 9, so no damage caused. The big shooters, anti-infantry weaponry, also bounced. So we're on to the Gorkanaut. The Deathstorm Mega Shooter is coming into the Intercessors, everything else into the closest dreadnought. Here's the Deathstorm Mega Shooter on 5s. It's winning on 3s. This is an anti-infantry gun, finally hitting infantry. This is a bunch of 4-up saves, and the first casualty for the 13th. 4. Rocket launchers, 2d3.
4.
This time, just 2. Can you hit?
No.
Negative. Moving down the line, onto the kill tank, which is a Imperial Armour, Legend's Choice. It's got the burster cannon, firing at Redemptor Dreadnought, and it's a really nasty gun. So I'm Armour of Contempting this. It's 3d6 shots. Did you load the ammo in?
Some of it.
You actually hit on 4s, because in half range, +1 to hit, and you had 9 shots. You only rolled 5 dice. You've got 4 more dice.
Oh, I was thinking
it's
D3s.
3 D6, yeah. There's some more hits.
And this is strength 14.
Is it? 3s to wound them. -2. 4 damage a time.
3 damage a time.
3 damage a time. So armor contempted it, so these are 3 up saves. And that 3 damage just becomes 2 damage because Redemptor Dreadnought things. Then it had a load of big shooters off the back and
Storm Boys.
pistols. Pistols came into it. No
We just
further
don't
damage.
know what they were shooting at. But
It was making loud banging noises. They quite like it. Onto another Imperial Armor choice. Legend's Choice. Mechanical Squig-Off. Giant Squig-Off. Big Gun of Doom.
Big Gun of Doom. Super Cannon. 2d6 shots.
Coming at Redemptor, right? Repulsor
Going
Executioner.
at these guys here.
Oh, you're going at these guys?
Yeah. 6, 7, 8.
Going at the aggressors because they're damage 3 and aggressors have 3 wounds. You need 5s to hit. One hit. What's the strength of this really
This is
big
a
gun?
12. Should I CP1? CP1 just
Well, you can. You got 2 CP. You're going to get 2 in my turn as well. It'll be up to 4
I may
CP.
as well try and
You haven't
use
spent
them, right?
any of the CP.
This is going to be lucky.
That was lucky.
Hey!
There we go. It's going to wound on 2s. They both wound. I need a 5-up save. I failed them both. It worked.
Yes.
You blow up 2 aggressors. Now, the big Squig-Off, that's the only gun it has. It's a big delivery system. Toughness, 13, 30 wounds. It's a chonky thing.
It is a very chunky thing.
With a very high transport capacity, as they're clinging all over it. Penelope, your war boss, was inside as well. Is inside.
It's inside.
Took a shot. It actually hit.
It did, but
pinged off. So that's it. Now we're all the way down to here.
the lifter dropper.
The lifter dropper battle wagon, which has been enhanced by the mech nearby, running repairs, and you're continuing the firepower down into the aggressors.
D6 plus 3. On 4s.
Nice. Strength 9, toughness 6. And everything wounds, AP.
-2.
5-up saves. And it's 2 damage, right?
2 damage.
So one of these guys is on a wound, and then there's big shooters all over it.
There's 4 big shooters.
And these are going to need 4s to hit because enhancements. 5s to wound. Nothing. Then there's tank busters inside. You've got 3d3 rockets coming out into the aggressors as well for 5 shots. Hitting on Orc though.
Hitting on enhancement still because the firing deck. He's firing, so he's hitting on 4s.
Oh yeah, I like it. 2 hits.
Not made no difference.
3s to wound. We have 2
2
wounds, 2 5-up saves or death on the aggressors because this is a 3 damage. 2 more get taken out. And those are the last shots of the Orc shooting phase. A very successful Orc shooting phase. You actually killed a few things.
He did. It was okay over that side, less good over this side.
Didn't hurt yourself as well, which is always a bonus. The question is, are the Storm Boys going to go charging in, or have they spent all their fuel just getting there?
I am Orc.
Yes?
I will charge.
Okay. So it's a rule called full throttle, so they can advance after charging after advancing, but before you make a charge, you don't want to roll any ones.
No, because they might fall over their shoelaces and...
Well, they've strapped missiles to their backs in order for them to come charging.
But it's the shoelaces that will get you.
Did they take out the firing pins? 2 of them explode on the way in, and this is going to be an 8-inch charge. And that's a 4. Command point.
Gotta do it. Hey!
Crump the Storm Boys get in there, locking up the Redemptor Dreadnought. The Knob has got a power claw. He hits on 4s. And that is 2 hits. And no wounds. Choppers from the rest of the boys. 6s explode, so you can put 2 more back in. That's what Orcs do. Strength 4, toughness 10 or 9. Basically, it's
more.
Yeah, 6s. There's a wound.
There's a wound.
Brilliant. And there's a save.
Lots of dice and no output, but you do get to fight back.
The Redemptor punches back with its fists. It hits on 3s. It's going to kill on 2s because they have no save to a Redemptor Dreadnought. But we did have a first turn charge from some boys, and my Redemptor Dreadnought is there now. It's not going to go busting forward and say, for example, trying to rip open the Hakuna Matata. It's got to dig its way through those boys yet. As we go on to the 13th, turn 1.
Winters, I've got a question.
Yes.
How did those guns get on top of those rocks?
Well, how did we build the pyramids?
I don't know. How did we build the pyramids?
Aliens. Here we are after the movement phase in turn 1 for the 13th. I called out the Devastator Doctrine, so I can advance and still shoot. And this one is the Oath of Moment target, the Gorkanaut, with a 6-up invulnerable save.
But you're not going to kill it.
Morkanaut, 5-up invulnerable save. I'm going to kill them both.
You've never killed one.
That's the plan.
Never killed one.
Because embarking outside and disembarking from the 2 Razorbacks here is a squad with multi-melters and a squad with las cannons, and as it's the Oath of Moment target, I'm re-rolling hits against it, and when you disembark from Razorback, you're re-rolling wounds against it.
Oh, mama.
So that should, and then I advance forward with this Dreadnought here, so it's in range of its guns, the other one in range of its guns. That's a lot of guns coming into the Gorkanaut.
Yeah.
Then for the Morkanaut, I dropped in the drop pod with all the melters over here. There's a Land Raider with Sagan Mir. He's in the corner.
He's retreating.
Directing traffic, tactically positioning. So he has a
as
good
far away from the threats as he possibly could
open field of fire across the rest of the battle grid. There's the Predator. The aggressors that got nuked, they've jumped inside the Repulsor Executioner. And the big gun on top.
They retreated as well, yeah.
They rescued their comrades. There's 2 of them, but the third one's slightly injured, the sergeant, and they're giving him meds right now. And the big gun has got one hell of a long range.
It has.
And can shoot all the way over here. There was also some advancing, a bit of move blocking in place. But we'll open up the shooting phase by trying to crack this tin can with 4 multi-melters. Here's the multi-melters from the Devastators. I need 4s to hit. Because they moved, re-rolling for Oath of Moment, and how'd you like them apples?
Those are tasty apples.
This is going to be 5s to wound because it's big and stompy, but re-rolling to wound. And in the end, only 3 wounds come through. 3 6-up invulnerable saves. And the force field flickers and stops one of them. I'm not in melt range though, so just 2d6 on the damage. For 5 damage, that's okay. There's a lot more firepower coming in. Sullivan Gilbert.
Hello.
I did it backwards. I was supposed to fire the Razorback first. So imagine that the Razorback fired first. Hits. Doesn't wound.
Okay.
Then the second Razorback is firing. Hits. Does wound. 6-up invulnerable save.
That's not a 6.
That's not a 6. D6 plus 1. That's 3 damage. I just remembered that the Razorbacks are twin linked. So when I said the first one didn't wound, it still doesn't wound. That's the twin link roll. How many wounds is it down to now?
12.
12 wounds remaining. 4 las cannons to the face. 3 4s to hit with the reroll. And then strength.
Come on, Gorky.
Is, I need better than that. 3 wounds. 3 invulnerable saves. 6
Come on,
up.
Gorky.
Negative.
Oh.
3d6 plus 3 now. And that is many. That is a kaboom. I kaboomed it.
No kaboom.
And that is the first Titanic unit
Don't
I've
believe
ever
it.
take down from our own blood. So one big stompy thing has fallen. One of the Meganobs takes a wound on the way out, and they don't have to be worried about any potential charges because this Dreadnought advanced to get there. And they've all disembarked and things. The plan is, honestly, crack open 2 of them, and then I'm still absolutely terrified by your turn 2 because these vehicles are completely full of boys and they're going to come rampaging forward next turn. Anyway, this Dreadnought number 2, I lined up to shoot it. Can't shoot it anymore, so I might as well shoot at this thing over here.
Yep.
And it hits once. I need a 5. It doesn't wound. Okay. We'll do some storm bolters and things. I'm not going to bother with storm bolters and things unless there's infantry around. Okay. So now let's try and kill the big red un.
No, you can't kill 2.
We're shooting the massive laser destroyer of doom all the way across the battle grid, and we're going to hit that on 3s.
You hit.
We're wounding it on 3s as well. It's a big nasty gun. And we wound once, and I think I might even CP this because it does d6 plus 4 damage. That is 2 wounds.
2. 5-up invulnerable saves.
And you make one fair one. Do you want a command point one at all? D6 plus 4.
Go
you
on,
are.
why not?
We've got loads of command points. We're getting 2 a turn every turn.
That's 3.
That's a 3. Okay. How much damage? That's 9 damage. It's already down to 11 remaining. I brought bigger guns this time.
Yeah, very orky. We approve.
Land Raider firing at this thing. Okay, let's keep pouring it on. 3 hits with the Godhammer patterns. This needs 4s to wound. Only 1 wound with the last cannon. 1 5 up and vulnerable save, which you fail. D6 plus 1 for another 4 damage. Then a HK streaks across the battle grid and misses.
Keeps streaking across the battle grid.
After the HK, the heavy bolter actually managed to put 2 wounds on it. It's down to 5 remaining.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now I see. Suddenly, I'm thinking if it cracks open, I can shoot the tactical squad in and hurt a few guys mainly. So I'm thinking, let's put some las cannons into it because it's only on 5 wounds left. But the turret from the Predator is going to spray into the dudes down there.
Okay.
Here's the 2 las cannons. Both of them
Ouch.
hit. 4s to wound. Both
Ouch.
of them wound. 5 up and guns. You failed both of the saves. This is going well, isn't it? And that's 7 damage. That is Dead Big Stomper number 2. Does it go boom boom?
No!
2 big stompy things. The Predator autocannon now is going to sow murder into these meganobs here. Hits them on 3s. I am in rapid fire range. Wounding on 3s. Now, each of these does 3 damage a time, killing a meganob. But you're in cover, so you have 4 2-up saves. Just don't roll any ones. You
didn't roll any ones.
Let's pour more autocannon fire down from the 2 twin-linked fire servo turret. They're coming this way. They're mounted. It's Tech Marines, so they hit on 2s. Okay. 2s to hit you. 2 1s anyway. Strength 9, toughness 6. I need 3s, but they are twin-linked. 3 wounds, AP -1, 3 damage a time. 3-up saves. One of the meganobs buys the farm. And that's it for all the shooting around here, except for the tactical squad that dropped in and wanted to kill your biggin. The biggin's already dead. So now we're firing melters into these meganobs. 2 melters in that team. Both of them hit. These need 3s. One of them wounds. You have a mech. So you got 4 up and vulnerable save in there, which you make. And then we're going to need lots of bolters. 3 came through. 3 2-up saves. I'll tickle one. And then we do the drop pod. Drop pod firing in. Hits once. Wounds once. Another. You're okay. You're okay. So that's it for this flank. I've taken down 2 big stompy things. I've taken down one of the mechs here. There is going to be charges down into my lines next turn, which are going to be very painful. Coming over here, this unit of intercessors ran forward, so we're on to Mr. Redemptor Dreadnought. He can fire out of combat. So I did a lot of firepower off camera because no choice targets and just big stompy things, and I thought I'm never going to wound any of them. Firing anti-infantry fire, a Dreadnought locked up in combat, and a couple of fire strike turbo turrets with autocannons, which really want to fire at elite stuff, not vehicles. But in the end, the Orquina Matata is cut down to 13 wins.
Almost halfway.
That was pretty successful in the shooting phase. So that's half dead. 2 of the things over here dead. We're on to the fight phase now because there is no charges. So the Storm Boys are round 2 against Redemptor Dreadnought. 3s to hit with a power claw on the knob. 6s explode. No explosions. 3s to wound. 5s to wound, sorry. 2 wounds.
2 wounds.
2 wounds. At -2, 2 damage. I make 1 fail 1. The 2 damage becomes 1 damage because that's what Redemptor Dreadnoughts do. And then all the choppers go choppity chop chop on 3s. And there's a couple of explosions for a couple of extra hits in there. But you're going to need 6s to
You're going to need 6s. And we don't get any 6s.
No. Okay. Redemptor Dreadnought with his big fist of doom hits 4 times. We'll kill them on 2s. There's still 2 left. What's going on here? Why is there still 2 left? They've tied me up for a game turn now. That is the end of turn 1. That was a pretty glorious start from the 13th.
Very good. Very good.
Talking about glorious things, I'm pretty certain in turn 2 there's going to be a wire called and some advancing from the Orks. And remember, when wire's called, they get 5 up and vulnerable save, +1 attack, +1 strength. Are you wiring?
We are wiring.
Here we are after the Ork movement phase. There's still a big mob of 20 boys in reserve and 10 Storm Boys in reserve. They're being cunning as well as brutal. They are aware that the 13th have got some units that are jumping in from high altitude and they want to jump on the things that I want to jump on. Baby Squigoth is going to be charging down this way, and the Chinook came in this turn and the mech jumped out of the Chinook, buffing it, making sure it's shooting better because there's a shock attack gun and a bunch of commandos in that one. And then we had the first unit of Meganobs moving forward down towards the 2 units of Devastators, and I spent a CP on squad tactics and was able to pull the multi-motor team
away,
tactically reposition them a bit further back up the battle grid. There's still some boys inside this.
No, that's empty. That's empty.
That started empty. Big kill wagon. Half of my Storm Raven is there. These are the Meganobs that got out the Gorkanaut. Looks like they're going to have fun against a Dreadnought. Over here, the big kill rig, Penelope's anthill mob, minus Penelope, because she's over there, have jumped out. They're going to be charging in. There was some advancing before it moved. They're still locked up in combat. And around this side, this is still swarming with people as well, right?
Yep, that's got the Knobs and Penelope.
That's got the Knobs and Penelope in. And it turns out that a gargantuan Squigoth has got 2 types of attacks. If it does the big anti-knight attacks with its thing, it's got 6 attacks and each of them has got 12 damage. Wow. That could be a potential of up to 62 damage on a knight or a titan or something like that on a gargantuan Squigoth when it goes charging in. Otherwise, it's just got a mere 18 damage 2 attacks. So no one's got out of the vehicles here. They're just going to run through this and potentially keep on pressing. Decisions had to be made about whether to drop Storm Boys in or the other big squad of 20, but there's charges here. There's charges here. And I don't think you need the help right now. And also, there wasn't any good places to stick them in and amongst the 13th lines. And a war has been called. The boys erupt into sing-song. How's the sing-song go for their work?
There's a fight breaking out for the war. There's a fight breaking out for the war.
Wow.
The Orks are as high as a gargantuan mechanical Squigoth's eye.
Wow.
And it looks like the boys are gonna get a good fight.
You are amazing. You know that.
Wow.
Wow. So we're starting on this side of the battle grid with the battle wagon firing all the anti-infantry at the infantry, and the big gun is coming in at the far strike servo turret. So we fired all the shooters at the infantry, you did a wound.
Yep.
Big gun coming at far strike servo turrets, d6 plus 3 shots for 4 shots this time. Hitting on 5s.
Mech.
4s because of mech. We have 1 hit and wounds on a 3 or something.
Doesn't wound on that.
Oh dear. Tank busters inside though, firing a 3d3 rockets into the far strike servo turrets, and that's going to be 5 shots. But can any of them hit? 2 of them
3
can.
of them.
3 of them
Mech.
because of the mech. Yeah.
Strength.
3s to wound.
Nice. All wound.
-2, 3 damage.
-2, 3 damage.
I need 4 up saves. I make all my 4 up saves.
Never in doubt.
However, the tank busters did manage to kill this little marine here, so there is a casualty so far. Now we're on to the gargantuan Squigoth, firing its big gun into the fast strike servo turrets as well. Number of shots. There's 8 shots.
8
time.
shots.
Okay. Hitting on 5s. A hit.
What? No.
Doesn't wound.
CP in this phase.
Okay, alright, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, that does wound. And that's a save. There were a couple more shots that ricocheted out and did no further damage. So now we're moving down the line to the really big one. What's it called?
The kill tank.
Kill tank. Akuna Matata.
The Orkuna Matata, yes.
All the anti-infantry going into this front line of intercessors. And the big gun again coming down into the fast strike servo turrets. Number of shots. Much shots, big wow. Can you hit? You need 5s. There's two hits. Strength really high. 2 wounds. -2?
-2.
I failed both of the saves. How much damage?
3 damage each.
That does nuke one of the servo turrets. Then we did a lot of anti-infantry fire. off camera, a lot, including with the mega knobs here. And you've taken out 2 of the intercessors in this squad. One's on a wound as well. That's it for all the firepower on this side of the battle grid. At least some casualties are opening up amongst the 13th lines, but the Ork shooting phase has been very orky. We're on to the battle wagon now, firing the gun, the big gun.
Big gun into there.
At the Razorback.
Into there.
Okay, here's the big gun.
D6 plus 3.
That's nice. That's 9 shots again. You keep getting high on the number of shots. But
It's the next bit.
It's the next bit. It's this bit that's tricky. Like that, for example. That was only 2 hits out of 9 shots. Do you want the blue dice? You can take the blue dice. These are lucky.
We've started, so we'll...
they both
2 wounds.
What is the AP?
The AP of a kill cannon is -2.
And make one fail, 1, 2 damage. It's on 5 wounds remaining. Let's do all the anti-infantry fire. Then the anti-infantry did kill one of the devastators. Took the guy without the multi-melter away. And you're telling me a thing.
Yes.
Big mech and mega armor.
He has got fixed that armour up.
Right.
While he's leading a unit, he can add in one of his bodyguard unit back in again.
I've got a couple of these boys. I really didn't read that in that card. I need big... And they give him a 4.
And you can put it in front, so he's actually whipping him to reduce the charge range.
Okay. And I know I'm going to get a comment in the comment section about outer sequences and doing this. We're 4,000 points here.
And we're for the lols. We're for the story.
This isn't a tournament cracked out. This is what he does. He's putting back in. Anyway, combi shooters and all the things. Where you're firing all the guns?
We'll put them in there. Strength 5, no particular AP and stuff. So we'll put them into that little unit that we started tickling.
Okay, right then. Hitting on Ork. Nothing. Okay, thanks.
Forget we said that.
Right, moving on to the next thing. We're down to Chin Ork.
No, we've got a big mech, and he has got a custom Mega Blaster.
Has he?
Which might do something useful.
He's got a hit though.
He's got 3. He only hits on 4s these days.
Right.
But he's putting that into this.
Okay. He hits once.
No, he doesn't. Because he hits on 5s. He doesn't hit on 4s anymore.
It doesn't what?
He used to hit on 4s.
Mechs used to hit on 4s.
But not anymore, so that's done.
Okay, so he doesn't hit. Moving further down the line, onto the baby Squiggoth, targeting the tactical team. Big gun, 1 shot, and that misses. Right. But there is a bunch of looters.
There are looters on board.
Targeting the same squad. You hit 3 times, yay!
And we wound twice.
I need 4s. One of the guys dies. Then the spanner fired in from the looters, killing one more of the tactical marines. There's 8 left. So we're on the last thing left to shoot. The Chinook. The lucky one.
There's lots of Daka here.
Where are you putting all the guns?
So, the big mech shock attack gun. We want to finish that one off if we can.
Razorback.
That's the one. The unit inside, the commandos. We're going to put the rocket into that unit, and we're going to put the special shooters, big shooters basically, into that one. I think they'll reach. If not, we'll put them into that one. But I'm going for that one if I can.
Right.
And the little guns, the pistols will be going this way.
Okay.
And the guns on the Chinook, the rockets are going to go into that, and the death guns are going to go into that.
So much guns, big wow, into Razorback.
And little ones into there, and the short range ones into
that. Right, I got it.
One.
I love Ork shooting, it's such a mess. Honestly it is. So shock attack gun, D6 plus 1 shots into Razorback. That is 3 shots.
Mech, hitting on 4s.
Yes, mech jumped out, and it's the firing thing, so 4, yes. Strength.
9.
Toughness 9. Oh.
Ah.
Oh.
Now,
okay.
on.
You've got some rockets and things though.
The rockets on the Chinook.
You got D3 shots, you rolled 3, hitting on 5s. 4s. 2 hits.
2 hits
Strength
with the
9.
rockets. Strength 9. 1 wound.
Did a wound. I make the save again.
Of course you did.
I made the save again.
Death guns get 2 attacks each, and there's 2 of them.
Yes.
And it's rapid 1, and they're in under half range, so 3 attacks each.
Forced to hit.
Oh,
you missed.
Nothing to see here.
Every single time. Now we're going to spray infantry, firepower everywhere. We did the anti-infantry fire. 1 wound spent on the tacticals over here, and then found a spare rocket, which did slam into the side of that Razorback and put it down to 3 wounds remaining, and that is the end of the Ork shooting phase. You've taken on 2 wounds remaining. You've taken a few casualties. You've taken out some stuff and a fast strike servitor and a lot of infantry here or there, but I haven't managed to wreck any of the vehicles yet. However, now we're on to the Ork phase, the charge phase. Starting the charge phase down here because there's a lot of them. Squiggoth into tacticals. That's a 7. He goes in, right?
Right, so because he's going to take care of some business there.
Yes.
We're going to go
Mega Knobs.
Knobs. We're going to...
Last cannon team, Razorback or things or...
Actually, I'm going to charge this one next.
Charge the truck.
Charge the wagon into that.
The Razorback, okay. Wagon goes charging in there as well.
He goes in. So these guys then are going to charge just those guys at the
Last
back.
cannon team around the back. And that is an 8. 3 charges so far.
This unit can't fail the charge.
Going into Dreadnought.
But they've got plenty for movement purposes.
Right, okay.
These guys can't charge that one, but if I can shunt them that way a little bit to make a bit of room for a charge from the kill tank, that would be helpful. They're really keen.
11, they can go wherever they want.
Which means
the kill tank will get in.
Yeah, kill tank will get into something.
Right.
So I'll put those out to remind me that. And then these guys can't fail.
Yeah.
So they're going to charge, he's going to charge.
Okay. So there were 780 Orc successful charges across the line. Not one of them failed to charge. And you're doing a tank shock.
Yeah.
You're here to kill stuff.
Definitely.
So a tank shocking with a big kill rig into these guys. You got 11 dice for this. 5s do mortal wounds. Capping out at 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. You killed 2 intercessors on the way in, but that's not where you're starting the fight phase.
No.
Because I've got 2 CP and I can interrupt.
And he's quite punchy.
He is a Dreadnought.
So we're going to try and punch him. And we're unbridled carnaging.
Right.
For the extra punch.
Unbridled carnage. 5s and 6s explode. Here's all the attacks with twin kill source. Hitting on 3s because they've been led by a dude. And look at all those exploding hits. Then wounding on 3s. Re-rolling because they're twin linked. Actually, we both thought that you might need that extra unbridled carnage. But you just did a bajillion attacks.
That's not bad.
At -3 damage. I need lots of 5-up saves. That's not lots of 5-up saves. Each doing 2 damage. That is definitely a dead Dreadnought. Which doesn't detonate. Now, I'm looking across the battle grid thinking I could Pate Trap, but Tactical Marines against Squigoth, what are we going to do? Devastators against Mega. I'm not going to do anything there. Over here, I could hurt some of your guys first, but... I mean, I'm not really bothered. It's 2 CP and they're just Orcs. So no, I'm not paying to interrupt. You can continue with your unbridled carnage. Or just normal carnage now. So, Squigoth, 9 attacks with the wire. Hitting on 3s. 6s go boom boom. And that counts as an extra hit. 2s to wound. I need 4-up saves. I'm losing Tactical Marines. I lose just 4. Yeah. Now we're down to this unit attacking these guys.
Yes.
And when you piled in, you made sure one is tagging the Razorback. The rest of all the dudes.
Piling in that.
There we go. And the rest are hitting the Devastators. So Mega Knobs into Devastators. 4 Plow Claws into Razorback. 3s.
Razorback?
Devastators.
Oh, not so good.
2 swooned. 5-up saves. You kill 4 of them. There's 1 remaining. Then the mech is hitting them as well. He's got claw as well. And he hits twice. 2 swooned. Okay, one of the Devastators is going to live.
Didn't want to do it.
Yeah, and then you got 3 claw attacks into the front Razorback.
+1.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay, and that explodes and goes back in it. So that is 4 hits in total. And that is 3 wounds in total, each doing 2 damage. I've got to make 5s on the Razorback. Well, that's not enough to keep it alive. That is a dead Razorback.
Does it blow up?
It doesn't blow up. You just crumple it apart. Start ripping it bit by bit and using its carcass for loot. That leaves 1 Devastator left next to this uninjured Razorback. While the camera was here, I did the fight back and no damage caused against those Mega Knobs. We're down here to the Anthill Mob. Hitting all of the intercessors, but Captain Badruck is there?
No, Mad Doc Grotznik.
He's there. So we're going to start with him. And he hits on...
He hits on 3s.
Okay. Oh, 2 6s. Look at that. What's he stabbing me with?
He's a Power Claw.
Okay. That is 6 wounds from Mad Doc Grotznik. I need 6 5-up saves. I make 2 of them. He kills 4 on his own. There's just 1 intercessor left. And then we've got like 40 attacks from the remaining boys. Many dice rolls later, he is dead, he is gone. So Mad Dog and his team make their way through that unit of intercessors with ease. Now we're coming all the way down here, where a gargantuan Squigoth is trampling some intercessors. With 19 attack with its huge tusks, hitting on 3s. And that is 3 extra hits back in there because of wow. Strength 9 in this mode, so 2's to wound. Its sweep attack is 3 damage a time. Mm-hmm. These would kill Terminators. -2. I need 5. Oh, that's the whole squad on its own. And so suddenly a big gap has opened up on this flank. That's all the charging units for the boys, and you've definitely killed a few things. The Storm Boys are still locked up with this Redemptor Dreadnought, however.
They are.
So I'm going to punch you with my fist. I'm going to punch him 4 times. I'm going to kill him on 2s.
Yes.
I kill him 5 times over. That means the Redemptor Dreadnought will be free next turn to charge off and do Redemptor Dreadnought things. I also have a couple of Tactical Marines over here with your Squigioth. Here's the normal Tactical Marines. What's the toughness of this thing?
Squigioth is toughness 10.
Toughness 10. Brilliant. No wounds. Then the Sergeant with the Power Fist. He hits twice. He wounds. We do a wound. And you make the save. I don't even injure it. That is the end of the fight phase. That is the end of Orks. Turn 2, they've showed up, and they've showed up in force.
I have invulnerability saves on the 4 hits here.
Oh, you do?
Wow.
Yes. Sorry.
There's a chance.
Yes.
I bet.
No, there isn't. They're dead. We did remember the wow, though. The invulnerability save. Yeah, because in this turn, I'm going to shoot you back, start punching you back, and I've got Meganobs with a war boss and Meganobs with a mech suit deep in my lines over here, and Brother Librarian Sagamir is directing traffic back here with some Terminators, and they're coming right for him. And then at least this thing is empty now, but down on this flank, these are still loaded up.
They are.
I'm very angry, but I've got 5 Terminators that can deep strike in. There is another drop pod with a plasma team inside, or 2 plasmas. And there's also 2 units of Jumpy Boys, Inceptors, with bolt guns. As we go into Space Marines, turn 2. 1 minute. Sullivan Gilbert completely forgot about consolidating and things. So, Meganobs consolidated into Razorback. Razorback didn't hurt Meganobs, surprise, surprise. And this Devastator team with the multi-melters, you consolidated in there.
Yes, we did.
So that punched you back, but 2 up saves. Didn't hurt you. And the Anthill mob consolidated into the Dreadnought before he killed the Storm Boys. So you're tying up some of the stuff here, there, and everywhere. Basically, it looks like I'm going to be popping the Tactical Doctrine, which allows me to fall back, shoot, and charge in Space Marines. Turn 2. So the Tactical Doctrine was called Operation Kill the Meganobs, is now in effect, and I was very pleased to remember that I have 2 Stormhawk Interceptors as well. I've brought everything into the battle grid except for a drop pod with a tactical squad and 2 plasma guns inside, and 1 more unit of Jumpy Dudes I've left off the table because the Orks still have some reserves that they could bring in at some point. And look at this massive gap round here, because the Orks are just pushing in and pushing in and pushing in, while the 13th hold firm, hold the line. So Operation Kill the Meganobs is now in effect. So falling back out of combat everywhere I needed to fall back out of combat. Terminators outside of Land Raider putting shots in. We have Razorback, we have Las Cannon, we have Predator Team, we have all of this firepower going in, and don't forget the auto cannons on the Fire Strike Servo Turret, and the auto cannon on the Predator main gun is a damage 3 weapon, and they have 3 wounds a time. It is only -1 though, so you will get your full 3 up saves against it. I didn't think that was enough firepower, so I've dropped in a unit of Jumpy Dudes down here to throw in some firepower as well, and put the Stormhawk Interceptors overhead. They'll be strafing down across this battle grid. And then that one's a bit cheaty. Still want to be an inch away. So that's there. This team, the multi-melter team, fell back, and the Dreadnought is going to go charging in there if any are left. Down this side of the battle grid, not a lot happened, because lots of scary big things. I can deal with half of you at a time. Okay? There's a lot to deal with. Dreadnought stepped back this way. I couldn't, because of the way you piled in, there was no way that I could get him to charge the Orkuna Matata. So he's just stepped back, and the intercessors have made way for him, and inside the Repulsor Executioner, the 2 remaining aggressors have gone out, and they're going to flame and go in as well.
And the power nap.
They recovered their fallen comrade. He's inside the Repulsor. They've got out, and this is where we are. So we'll start here. We'll start with the 2 flamers flaming in.
I mean, you have an alternative, you know.
What?
You could concede if you want to.
At this point, I have no idea how this battle is going to go.
Game.
But you have put a lot of stuff in my lines, so I feel like I'm okay.
I think you're going to kill a few now, though.
There's going to be I do love the smell of fungus in the morning. So the aggressors toggle the nozzles of their Flamestorm gauntlets and fire in D6 plus 1 times each for only 5 times. They should have toggled it a bit more. I'm going to need 5s to wound, but they are twin linked. And I do 2 wounds. You have 5+ invulnerable saves because of War. And I burn 2 of them. And then let's shoot all the intercessors in. 1 minute. Mad Doc Grotzny gives them a 5 up feel no pain. It doesn't help. Let's shoot all the intercessors in. I'm hitting on 3s. And wounding on 5s. Invulnerable saves. That's good. You make 3 of them and then a 5 up feel no pain. Only take 2 out. It's not enough, but I have a Dreadnought. I have some aggressors. And Operation Kill Meganobs is in effect. So we're going on to the Dreadnought. I'm going to overcook the plasma to get it up to 3 damage and fire into the Meganobs. And all its anti-infantry is going into the Boyz right in front of me. Here is the Onslaught Gatling Cannon into the Boyz. And that many hits, 5 hits. I need... that is 3 wounds. That one's devastating. So 2 invulnerable saves. 1 just goes through. And then 2 feel no pains because you make 1 of them. 2 of them die. Then the other guns from the Regenta into this Boyz bounced. But we're putting the plasma down into the Meganobs. You ready?
Yep.
I add 1 to this for number of shots. Sullivan Gilbert.
Hello.
Tell a lie. It's 2 because of blast. 3s.
All the joy.
And then 3s to wound. Only 3 wounds. 3 invulnerable saves or death. Wow. Only 1 of them dies. Hazardous check. And I take 3 wounds myself. Brilliant. So, Redemptive Dreadnought down to 6 wounds remaining. Then I found the anti-infantry weaponry from the Repulsor Executioner into the Orks. And there's still 4 of them left. Well, 3 of them left with Mad Doc Grotznig. But the big gun, big anti-tank killing gun, is firing down into the Meganobs. Operation Kill the Meganobs. I hit once. Strength bajillion. I wound. 5 of them run. I nuke another. That leaves 4 of them remaining, and then the multi-melter team, which fell back last turn, are hitting on 4s. And wounding on 3s. 2 wounds. 2 5-up invulnerable saves.
Nope.
No, a minimum 3 damage at this range. That nukes 2 more. So you got the War Boss in Mega Armor, 1 more fella who's going to get lit up from the Dreadnought that wants to go charging in, and he hits both of the times with his melters, and he wounds 1 of the times. 5-up invulnerable save on the last Meganob.
No.
And he gets taken out. So we're down to just the dude. We'll get back to him in a minute because Operation Kill the Meganobs continues.
Going
We're
well
coming
so far.
down here to your big mech unit with all the guys because this is the Oath of Moment targets. Because he's got 4-up invulnerable save, right?
He does.
So this one is going to be pretty tricky to kill. So where do I start? Let's start with the Predator. Let's start the Predator at point blank range. Hitting you on 3s. Oh dear. Wounding you on 3s. 1 wound. That's a 3-up save. No, and it's a flat 3 damage. It kills 1. Last cannons. Hit once. Wound once. Another. This is a 4-up invulnerable save. You fail that one. D6 plus 1 wound. That is 3 damage. That kills a second. That's the Predator done. We're on to the last cannon Razorback, which hits and wounds. 4+ invulnerable save.
No, what's wrong with these dice?
Can you make one of them, please?
These Winter's dice.
That kills another. And the last cannon Devastator that fell back misses. Now we're on to the jumpy dudes because mistakes were made. I should have fired them first because now only 5 of them can see. And we're hitting on 3s, and I just remembered you're the Oath of Moment target, so I should have been re-rolling hits all along. So we re-roll a hit, and jumpy dudes, 6s explode twice with bolters, sustained hits too. Now at strength 5, I need 5s to wound you.
You do.
But they're twin linked. Yeah.
Re-roll.
So re-roll all the things to try and wound on 5s, but you do have cover. So those are all 2-up saves. 9 2-up saves. You rolled about 5 1s in a row. If you can keep rolling 1s, you roll 2 1s. That kills 1 more. And I've still got some gunfire left. The Land Raider hasn't fired in yet, but I'm going to hold on to that for a minute. Let's fire in the Terminators because it's the only thing that we're shooting at. And we're hitting on 2s because you're an Oath of Moment target and we are Terminators. And we're re-rolling all the hit rolls and it sustained hits 1 because there's a Librarian in there. But it's the 5s to wound, which is the hard part, and even harder, you have a 2-up save. And it was only 3 wounds, and you rolled another 1.
Oh, I've done lots of ones.
Here's the Cyclone Missile Launcher, which I can re-roll because of Oath. 1 hit. I can't see it. Where is it? It's a 6. It's a 6. 4 plus invulnerable save. Negative. D6 damage. For 1 damage, I rolled a 1. 1's still on a wound. So, Chief Librarian Sagamir casts Smite. Don't need to do the hazardous version. This is the number of attacks. It's going to hit on 3s with the Oath. And that is sustained. Wound on 5s. That is 1 more 3-up save. And you're still alive. So 1's still alive on a wound. And then we've got the mech there. Where am I going next? I think, okay, these things do 3 damage a time, you see, and could fire at vehicles. But Operation Kill the Meganobs is very, very important. So we're going to fire 1 down at this squad and 1 at the other squad, because the other one can't see this squad. Here's the one hitting this squad. Okay. Firestrike Server Turret has 3 shots. It does hit on 2s, and it does wound on 3s with twin lit. They all wound. So 3 plus saves, and that injured one gets taken out. And then the turret into your war boss, they all hit with the reroll. They all wound. He's in mega armor, so he has 2 3-up saves to make as well. And you keep rolling low, and that's 3 wounds into this fellow here, right in front of my lines. Command pointing in it. Command pointing at So your war boss in Mega Arm is still alive, but he's injured.
He's bleeding.
The Meganoms have been sprayed apart all around him, and now there will be fire from the sky from the Stormhawk Interceptor, firing everything down at him. Overkill is the only kill. Both of the last cannons hit. These are strength 10, but he's really tough. So I'm wounding him on 3s. I wound him both of the times. He needs to make his invulnerable saves.
He does not.
And this is 2d6 plus 2 damage.
He's a dead 'un.
He's a dead 'un. What now?
That Morboss has not earned himself a name.
Is he a new one?
He is.
He's not earned himself a name
Not
yet.
earned himself a name.
Oh, he did do some killing though.
He did.
He did do a little bit of killing. So there's this mech here. And I feel like I've got this in Assault. I can charge. I can kill it in Assault. So what I'm going to do with this flyer is this. Look, this thing is made of my Storm Talon bits. My Storm... This abomination must die. So I'm going to put this Stormhawk Interceptor down into it, okay? Hitting on... That's really complex. Hitting on 3s with las cannons. It's strength 10. You're a battle wagon. I think I'm wounding you on 3s.
It's got the hard case, but it's still not going to be toughness 10.
I think I'm wounding it on 5s.
It's toughness 11. Okay,
so I don't wound. There's a Typhoon Missile Launcher. They hit both of the time. 5s to wound because of the hard case. That wounds -2. So 5 up invulnerable save on your battle wagon. Negative. You keep rolling 1s. D6 damage. I rolled a 1. That's 1 damage. Then the twin assault cannons hitting on 3s. 3 of them miss. This will need 6s to wound, but it is twin linked and devastating, and that is another wound tickled off of it. It's on. 14 wounds remaining. Let's unload the Land Raider into it. 3s to hit. I hit 3 times. 4s to wound because of the hard case. I wound once. 5 up invulnerable save. No. Please make a save. It's making me sad. D6 plus 1 for 6 damage. It is down to 8 remaining. Let's do some heavy bolters and things. The heavy bolter spanked 1 more wound off of it, and then I had this tactical squad down here that got charged by this mechanical squig off last turn. Shooting up, didn't do any wounds to it. And that is the end of my shooting phase, and that was a pretty good shooting phase.
Very good shooting phase.
Well, or a very bad saving phase from the Orks.
Yes, I would also agree with that as well.
Did you make a WoW 5+ green energy invulnerable save at any point?
I don't think so.
I don't think you made any of them.
No.
I don't think. I keep offering you
these dice. Do not buy them.
Do not get those dice. I keep offering you the blue ones, but you don't want to touch.
You've touched them, you see.
I've touched the blue. It's because yeah. So we're on to the charge phase now. I've shot everything I can. Operation Kill the Meganobs was in effect. The only thing that's left is this mech down here. I stopped everything else. We're going to charge in with the Terminators. That's a 7. They'll make their charge. The Dreadnought was lined up to charge some other stuff. So I might as well charge this abomination.
Yep.
That's been made
quite long, but
from the scraps. And that's a 7.
Might do.
I need to measure that in a minute. The aggressors are going to go into this squad. That's a 7. They'll get in, and the Redemptor can't fit that way, so the Redemptor will go into the anthill mob as well and make the charge. At the end of the charge phase, it looks like this. Redemptor and aggressors engage just these 3 boys with the medic, with the mad doc himself. The Dreadnought did manage to make the charge against that battle wagon, and of course, Segimir and his Terminators against this mech. But we're going to start around here with the Dreadnought, because I have spent a CP on Tank Shock, because the Emperor must die. The Emperor must die. Just 1 wound. 1 wound, he's down to 5 remaining. That's just 1 mortal wound on the impact. I keep thinking, like, that must die, that must die. And every time I'm thinking that must die, it goes me back to the end of the death. Dan Abnett, the end of the Siege of Terror, the Emperor must die. And I feel like a heretic every single time I say it. I shouldn't be saying it. So on 5 wounds left, I really want it dead. So I've spent a CP on Honor the Chapter, giving that Dreadnought Lance. And I'm hitting on 3s. And because I spent that CP, wounding on 3s instead of 4s. I wound 3 times, see it worked. Invulnerable saves. You made 1 invulnerable save.
Change? Yeah.
But not enough to keep it alive. No. That is a dead tank, which doesn't detonate.
It doesn't.
And so this mech has seen his boys fall around him. His parents interrupt. He's going to fight back against my Terminators. And he only hits twice, but at least they explode. So that is actually 4 hits. And he is wounding on 2s because the WAR is still in effect. And there's 3 wounds. I need invulnerable saves. And you do kill a Terminator. What a cheeky chappy. And you're no longer the Oath of Moment target, because that unit is dead. This is a mech on its own. These need your toughness 5 or 6?
Toughness 6.
So these need 3s to wound. That many wounds. We have 6 saves to make. Does he have a flat 4 up and done?
No, it's only against ranged attacks.
Okay.
Flat 4.
Okay, so these are -2 anyway. So he has 4s. What am I talking about? He has 4s. Oh. And that is 10 damage.
He's a dead one.
That's 10 damage. We rip him out of that mech suit and crush his skull.
Operation Meganob success.
Yeah. And now we have aggressors and dudes and Redemptor Dreadnought fighting just 3 boys. And I did it off camera because I thought there's no way he could stay alive. He's alive.
He's alive.
On 3 wounds remaining. I did kill the unkillable Clyde.
Yes, the Antil mob have been wiped from the grid forever.
It's the first time in 3 games after going for him. I managed to take him out. Anyway, so we have Captain Badruck fighting
Mad
back.
Doc Grotznik.
That's the guy against 2 aggressors.
He's now not getting the +1 because he's not in a unit. He's hitting on 3s.
5 attacks with the WAR, hitting on 3s. 5 attacks, that was 4 dice.
Oh, yeah.
Roll another one.
3 so far.
There you go.
4.
Yep. Wounds on 2s.
9.
Oh, wounds on 3s. They all wound. -2, 2 damage.
2 damage.
That kills an aggressor. Just the aggressor. Sergeant is left standing. And with my aggressor sergeant battling it out with the mad doc himself, that is the end of the 13th turn 2. And that was a pretty successful turn.
Very good turn.
I've repelled their first charge. I've kind of given up this flank here for now. There's a lot of nasty stuff over here.
The Flyers will be heading that way next turn.
Flyers will zip this way, but I'm not sure how much damage they're going to do against big things like this. The Orks Matata is empty now. So it's just a big gun roaming around all over the place. You've got Boyz that can deep strike in. You've got Storm Boys that can jump all over the place.
Got commandos here. Got some looters here.
And there's a lot of little units strung out for the 13th, like one fella here, and an aggressor on his own there, and the Devastators with the multi-melters down here, which are somewhat exposed. So there are some choice targets ready for the Orks to jump on as we move on to turn 3. And here we are at the end of the Ork movement phase. All their reserves are on the battle grid. It turns out that I'm a tactical genius. By putting my flyers up here, it stopped you deep striking stuff in to get all my soft meat down here, all the juicy and easier bits to kill. So most of the reserves have come in over there.
And given that I have quite large, slightly oversized vehicles, and the layout, there's finding space to bring stuff is a bit tricky.
Why do you do this to yourself?
Because they look good.
Okay, good answer. We've got a squig off. It's going to eat the pod. It's the only thing it can eat round here. The Chinook has flown over a flyer, and as far as we can tell, it can drop bombs, and it can hit a flyer. That's what the rule said. So we're going to do the bomb in a minute, see if it actually hits that flyer. And that's it for the pressure down in this quarter. The 13th invited the Orks onto their guns, and have done well clearing out this corner of the battle grid. The big tank, the Orks Matata, has moved round, and Captain Badruck,
Zagstruck.
He's the guy. You can fall back, shoot and charge.
Oh no, Mad Dog Grotznik.
Him.
He can fall back.
He's had enough of the aggressors. He flamed all of his boys around him, so he's going to come into the Devastator squad with the multi-melters. But apart from that, there's not a lot of pressure here yet down this side of the battle grid. Around the other side of the battle grid, a somewhat different story. The tank busters have got outside of the battle wagon.
Because they've got bomb squigs and tank hammers, and having all of that hit something that's a vehicle, and this fire
strike servo turret is a vehicle.
We're gonna.
So you want to kill that. Inside there is still Penelope and
and some knobs.
Big squad of knobs. But if you got them out over here, there wasn't much choicey things for them to charge yet. The idea is to crump hard, kill Redemptor, kill Firestrike, and then maybe get them out in turns 4 or 5 and start running down through the 13th lines if you're able to. The Storm Boys have dropped in here. And
9 inches away from your big dreadnought, so we've got a chance to knock his final few wounds off.
Okay. And then
re-rollable charges because of Zagstruck.
Nice. And then here's your weird boy. With a big squad of dudes. And at the end of the movement phase, you want her to jump.
We want to see if we can get closer in here to put a bit more pressure.
Don't roll a 1. You don't roll a 1. So now you're going to move 20 boys from here all the way over here. And suddenly there's some pressure in the middle of the battle grid as well as on this flank. So after we moved all those models, another thing we need to do is the big bomb from the Chinook dropping onto the flyer. You roll 6d6, and for every 4 it does mortal wounds. And that's 2 mortal wounds on the Stormhawk gunship, which was flying quite happily over the battle grid, and something slammed into its wing from above. Then the boys open fire. Loud banging noises echo across the battle grid. We started off with the Squiggle shooting point blank range into an immobile mop drop pod and still missing.
Yeah.
But the looters are shooting into the Devastators right next to it, and this time you actually hit twice. And 3's to wound. And you wound once. And you do nuke 1. But the custom Mega Blaster from the Spanner is going into the drop pod, and you hit twice with that.
We do.
Strength? 9.
Strength 9.
So it wounds on 3s. That is a wound. AP.
-2.
That's a failed save. How much damage?
D6.
That is 4 damage. The drop pod is on 4 wounds remaining. You realise they have an OC of 2. Why have drop pods got an OC? That's
because
just
they're
wrong.
Cleverer than Orks.
Okay. Now the big mech with the shock attack gun is pointing straight at the dreadnought.
There's
right in
shots.
front. And he has 2 shots.
+1.
+1. He has 3 shots. Brilliant. And he actually hits once as well.
Twice, because the mech is at the back telling him to hit better.
Oh yeah, you're healing it with the thing. Firing step is a thing. Yep, okay, so 2 hits, wounding on 4s. And it's AP minus 4. So I need 6s. I get 1 6.
D6 damage for... At least you can't reduce it.
I can't reduce it. It's only 1 damage. It's on 7 wounds remaining.
We might be able to kill it with the
Command point, surely. Command point. No.
I've got 2.
You've got 2.
Save 1 to guarantee my charge over there. Oh, go on then. Hashtag don't listen to Winters.
Don't tempt me, Frodo. You made it a 3.
Better.
That's okay. That's 3 times as good. So the Schnork itself is firing a rocket into the Dreadnought once, which will hit on a... That's a hit. Wounds on a 4. I can't see it. That's a wound. Minus 2?
Minus 2.
I failed the save. It's down to 2 wounds remaining. Then all the death guns hitting on 4s. That's pretty good shooting. Strength.
8.
5s to wound. Wound. AP on death guns.
Minus 1.
I make the same.
Okay.
Now we're onto the commandos inside. We're unloading everything at the Dreadnought. You started, so you're finished.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We have a rocket launcher, a D3.
Okay, 3 shots. It's good. 4s to hit. 1 hit. I can't see it. That isn't a wound. Oh dear.
2 special commando shooters, which are rapid fire 2.
Okay. 4s. There's a wound. There's a wound. And that's a save. Pistols. Trying to do it with pistol fire. That is 4 hits. You need 6s to wound with the pistols. No wounds. And the Dreadnought is still alive on 2 wounds remaining.
Have to charge it.
Brilliant. 2 vehicles down. Now onto the big kill tank. What are we doing with the big kill tank?
The big guns are going after the Terminators.
Nice, okay. And
3d6.
the little guns are going into the inventory.
The Scorcher will go into the one that's in front, but we'll also throw the Twin Big Shooter into the Terminators as well.
So 3d6 with your big gun of doom.
Could have been better.
For only 5 shots. Brilliant.
The under half range hitting on 4s, thankfully.
There's a hit.
Hit once. And that's a wound.
And that's a save. Then we did the anti-infantry weaponry off camera, because of course it won't do anything, and it killed 2 of my Devastators. Round to this big squad of Boyz that had jumped here last turn, fired everything they could into the Dreadnought. It's down to 5 wounds remaining, and now you're going to try and do Ed Banger. Ed Banger from the Weird Boy in there.
Goes off on a 4.
That's a 4.
This is strength 10.
Strength 10. I think it wounds on a 3. That
wounds.
Definitely wounds. What's the AP?
AP of Ed Bang is minus 3.
Minus 3. And it's a flat 5 damage.
Flat 5 damage.
It's got 5 wounds remaining, but fortunately it reduces all damage by 1. So it needs a 5. I don't get a 5. His head almost explodes. He's got a splitting migraine. The passenger, the pilot of the Dreadnought, the honoured brother, the dead corpse, is down to 1 wound remaining, but he's still hanging in there. Down to the Gargantuan Squigoth, firing a super cannon at my Repulsor Executioner, and it has 5 shots, and it hits on 5s. And
it just didn't.
No, every time I turn the camera on, you miss. Then we move right down to this corner of the battle grid with lots of small arms and a big gun from the battle wagon shooting at
How
fast
many
strike.
things hit?
I think you hit none.
Absolutely nothing.
I think nothing hit. It was very loud and bangy though. They quite liked it. But you are unleashing the bomb squig.
The bomb squig, which doesn't go off.
He doesn't know. He runs off.
He runs off
the battle grid instead over there and blows up over that way. And that's the end of the Orky shooting phase. And it was so Orky.
It was awful. I think you ought to say.
Nothing happened over here. Redemptor Dreadnought injured. You killed 2 of the Devastators.
We did.
And hurt a Dreadnought. But that's about it.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay. Where would you like to charge?
Everywhere. Let's start with the main event.
Start with the main event.
The Squigoth, the Gargantuan Mechanical Squigoth, is charging your Big Tonk.
Big Tonk. That is a 7-inch charge. He definitely gets in there.
That makes it.
Crump Gargantuan Squigoth gets here. Then behind the battle wagon and the tank busters manage to engage the fast strike servo turret. And then you rolled a 9 for the Storm Boys.
I did. I got a bit keen. I didn't wait for you to turn the camera on.
No. And so you are charging the Redemptor Dreadnought with the Storm Boys. Is the big squad of 20 boys going to try and go in as well?
I don't think there'll be enough room to get them onto the Redemptor.
I think
but we
we'll
can
have to-
try and go for him.
Into the aggressor. Okay, roll 2d6.
It's a long bomb charge.
Very long bomb charge. Let's see how far you go. 5 isn't enough. So Grotznik wants to charge into the Devastators. The kill tank can't fail.
So the kill tank's going to take the Devastators.
Right, in
And
case
I'm
there's
gonna
Overwatch.
Hope that he makes that.
Okay, I'm not Overwatching. It's going to be fine. It's just 2
And
Devastators.
Grotznik's actually going to go back to where he came from.
To the aggressor.
Yeah, he shouldn't have run so far away. He's made it more difficult than he needed to be.
Okay, that's
but
a
that's
4.
enough, I think.
You're within 5, that's fine.
So those done. Chinook is going to charge the Dreadnought in front of him.
On 2 wounds remaining. You're trying to ram it.
And if
tank
this
shock it.
comes off, we will
That's
tank
a 6.
shock.
That's a 6. You're going to get in there. It's going to be very difficult for us to move the models around there. It fits. We fit the Chinook in there. And then the mini Squigoff charges the drop pod around the back here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successful charges this time by the Orks as we go into the fight phase. First things first, Chinook really wants to kill that Dreadnought. His attacks are only strength 6 and you're tank shocking, but 2 5s and 6s will ram that Dreadnought to death, and that is 2 5s and 6s. You do come ramming in there and it doesn't detonate. You do wipe out the Dreadnought. Then we move over here to start the fight phase between the Storm Boys and the Redemptor Dreadnought. Zagstruck, not Zagstruck. He's swinging first. 6 attacks.
6 attacks.
Hit on 2s with a power claw. You know, that's better than most war bosses. Most war bosses have 4 attacks.
They do.
Yeah. But he's going to need 5s. He's going to need 5. Oh, 2 5s.
2 5s.
2 4-up saves. It's only got 1 wound remaining.
2 damage a time.
It's dead.
It's dead.
It is dead. That is a dead Redemptor Dreadnought, and we haven't had any explosions yet.
That's a bit disappointing.
Just gonna get ripped apart. At the end of that fight, the Storm Boys use the consolidation to use the movement as much as they can to get deeper into the 13th lines, and I'm paying 2 CP to interrupt.
Very good.
I've got my Aggressor Sergeant
You have.
against this filthy Xenos here, the Mad Doc himself, and he ran away from me, then turned around and come back again.
He didn't know what he's doing.
It might feel like overkill, but I feel like I want him dead. And I hit him twice.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to wound him on 3s, but it is twin linked. And in the end, that is 2 wounds. He has 2 invulnerable saves to make. And he make a save for once.
Woohoo!
It's 2 damage. 2 damage. Does he have the feel no
Feel no
pains?
pain? No, he doesn't.
He doesn't.
Nope.
So he's going to live on 1 wound remaining. And he can strike back at my aggressor. Mad Doc Grotznig hits on 3s. And he hits twice. Is it a power claw?
It is a power claw.
Wounds on 3s. He wounds once. It's not going to kill my aggressor.
No.
My aggressor does take 2 wounds. We're both on 1 wound each, and a battle for the ages has erupted in the middle of the 13th lines. Meanwhile, over the shoulder of the aggressor sergeant, a giant mechanical Squigoff is trying to tear apart a Redemptor Dreadnought.
It is.
It's doing the big, nasty 12 damage attacks as it rams it with its tusks. It's going to hit on 3s. And it misses 4 times. It's got Lance, so you're wounding on 2s. You wound both of the times. Now, 6-up saves or death, because it's 12 damage a time. So this is 24 damage. I don't make a 6. Do I command point reroll one of them? It would be a bit cheeky.
Do it.
Yeah, let's do it. It doesn't help me. You do 24 damage to the Repulsor Executioner with just 2 hits.
And it still didn't blow up.
No, it just gets trampled. Trampled? Into the dust. That's a word now.
It is.
Now we're down to the Battle Dragon with its Death Roller trying to roll straight over the Fire Strike Servo Turret, and you only hit twice there as well.
Again.
And you wound
once.
and I make the save. It just stops short. It goes bang, straight off the front of it. So the Tank Busters are going to have to do it. One swings a Tank Hammer, hitting on 3s. They both hit. It's only vehicle 4-up, but it is strength 7.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to wound on 3s. You don't need the 4-up thing. They both wound. I need 3-up saves. I make both of the saves. This thing is hanging in there.
It is there.
Now the mech with its wrench, 3 attacks. You get it 4 hits out of 3 attacks. What's the strength?
It is strength 4.
Okay, 5s. He does
Just
wound.
1. No AP.
I make that save as well.
And
Then 3 regular tank busters. They should all have tank hammers, really, shouldn't they? This would make nothing.
nothing there.
Nothing.
And then
So tank busters charged. Let's face it, a fast strike servo turret isn't a strong vehicle.
there's one left to
Bounced. Surely, as
Big
tank
custom force
busters.
field has got a chopper.
Yeah, but why are tank busters not busting? Busting makes me feel good, and they should have gone straight through that thing. Okay, big mech with the custom force field. He's got a chopper. He hits on 3s. He hits 3 times with the explosion because there was a 6.
Yeah.
He's wounding on 3s. He wounds twice, and he
He tickles one off.
finally takes a wound off the fire strike turbo turret, and I think they start with 6. It's on 5 remaining, and it'll fight back. Jumps out of his turret, punches out, hits twice, wounds once. 5-up save. It's alive.
Made on.
It's alive, so this battle for the ages continues. It's still, there's a problem with me. Tank busters should be able to kill vehicles a lot easier than that, and that is the end of the fight phase. My aggressor fought, you've fought, that's ongoing. They couldn't get through with the charge. Yes, that is the end of Orks turn 3. Oh, yes. We have baby Squiggoff trying to kill a drop pod on 4 wounds. Got 4 attacks with its horns, and it hits on 3s, and that is 4 hits in total, and it will wound on 3s, and that's 2 wounds. 2 saves, 2 failed saves, and 2d6 damage. For 7 damage. Dead drop pod. That doesn't blow up either. After ramming through that drop pod, you engage my Devastator team, which fight back and obviously don't hurt that big mechanical monstrosity. And we found another assault. The big kill rig is fighting these last 2 Devastators here. How many attacks does it have?
8 attacks.
8 attacks.
Hitting on force.
Okay. Well, that is 5 hits with the explosions. What's the strength?
Strength is 9.
Okay, 4 wounds. AP, 5 wounds.
AP -1.
-1. I fail all the saves.
2 damage.
They're definitely dead.
They're definitely dead.
And that is the end of Orks turn 3. They're pushing the 13th right back into this corner, or rather, is the 13th inviting them onto their guns? I mean, when you come round this side of the battle grid, there are vast open areas where there's nothing at all. You've pushed quite hard down this side. That big, stompy, gargantuan Squiggoff of Doom is still untouched on 30 wounds remaining. And you finally got rid of the Redemptor Dreadnought and my other Dreadnought down here. I've still got a lot of big guns left, and I've still got a drop pod. I've still got 5 Terminators, and I've still got 6 jumpy dudes, which are going to come in as we go on to Space Marines, turn 3. Here we are after the 13th movement phase. All reserves deploy on the battle grid. It's time to cut the head off the snake. The kill tank, the Hakuna Matata, is my oath of moment target. And we have dropped in some reserves around here. The last drop pod slams in, and the last unit of jumpy dudes, and they're going to hose down this target from this side. And next to them, as the 2 Stormhawk interceptors scream overhead, the plan is they should take down the Oath of Moment target. And then there's a big gap in the middle of the battle grid. And I've got twin assault cannons on those Stormhawk interceptors as well, which are going to also lay some firepower down into this big squad of 20 boys. I mean, your Ed Banger is precision and strength 10, 5 damage at the moment, because there's so many boys and so much green energy there. And you can redeploy these with the jump. So I need them dead. I can't have them hopping around the battle grid and trying to hunt my characters down and wipe them out. Down in the home corner for the 13th, I spent a CP on adaptive tactics, so this unit could fall back and shoot at this thing right in front of me. And I've got Land Raider, Predator, Razorback, Predator. I've put the guy with the las cannon back inside here because he's the only guy who failed tank shock this turn, and I could have kept the las cannon out, but narratively speaking, he's like, oh, he doesn't know fear, but he's recovered another one of his brothers from earlier and dragged him back inside the tank. And I think this is enough firepower to take down this particular Squiggoth and the Chinook here and hopefully charge the soft meat in front. So there should be 3 dead vehicles, and then round back down the centre where you made the charge with Not Badruck and the Mad Doc himself. The aggressor did pass his battle shock, so he fell out of combat. I've got a wall of guns, an untouched squad of intercessors firing in. I've got the jumpy dudes firing in. I deep struck the Terminators in front because clearly this is my quarter of the battle grid and I want to protect them. And then over here, I fell back with a fast strike servo turret who should be dead, but I don't know how much firepower is going to come in over here. We're going to start off the shooting phase by raining a fire from the sky, from the Stormhawk.
This could be a very decisive turn.
I hope so. It's been a trilogy, and this is the time, right? Luke has now gone up to the Death Star, and and Darth Vader. No, 1 minute, that doesn't work. No, what's happening here is this is Jason Bourne, right? We're now in New York,
Okay.
and we're taking apart the FBI bit by bit by bit, and the CIA. We're like, I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me. No, that's Watchmen, isn't it? It's one of those references. Anyway, Stormhawk Interceptor, assault cannons into this squad, big guns into the kill rig. There's the Storm Talon with Oath of Moment, and I'm going to need that. And that's AP -3 into your kill rig.
Yeah, it's a kill tank.
Kill tank.
6. Not a 6.
D6 +1 for 3 damage.
3.
Missiles of the Typhoon variety, both of them hit. These need 5s. It is toughness 12. That is another AP -2 on that one.
So 5s.
Where did it go?
It's just there.
That's a 3. This is D6 damage for another 2. It's got 10 remaining. Then the twin assault cannons rain down fire on the Orks below, and it is twin linked, and they're devastating. And that one is a 5-up save. So 2 die, 3 die in total. And then we rinse and repeat with Stormhawk Interceptor number 2. Here is the twin assault cannon down at the Orks below as we strafed overhead. 2 saves, 1 not saved, 1's dead. That's another 2 gone. Typhoon missiles with twin linked because, well, rerolled a hit because of Oath of Moment. 5s to wound the big tank, nothing. Last Talon with Oath of Moment. 4s to wound the big tank. Nothing. It's still alive. Interesting. And only killed 5 boys. So we'll leave that for now.
Yeah, you'll be back.
We'll come all the way down here. Instead, let's put Land Raider, everything. No, actually, this team are only shooting the Gargantuan Squiggle. So let's do it with this. Yes, we'll do with that team there. 3s to hit with the Melters. One of them hits. And it wounds. AP -4.
No save.
No save. D6 +2 at this range. 5 damage. Squiggle has 13 wounds remaining, so let's put everything from the Land Raider into it. Godhammer pattern las cannons. 2 of them hit. 3s to wound. 1 wound. AP -3.
6s.
No.
saves.
D6 +1 damage.
Ooh.
7 damage. Then a heavy bolter came through and wounded it. It's on 5
Tickled it
wounds
down.
remaining. So we're firing las cannon from Razorback in, which hits and wounds, and that's AP -3.
6.
No, D6 +1. It's on 5 wounds.
It
You
is.
say so 4 and it's dead. That's a
It's
4.
dead.
It's dead. And the Squiggle doesn't have deadly demise,
Nope.
so no explosions either. But you did roll 2 1s when the vehicle
So
got wrecked.
2 looters.
Vehicle. So yeah, 2 looters got shot in half as the las cannon shot through the riding deck on top of that great beast's back. We're on to Predator. I'd love to fire Predator at the massive big tank here that I made Oath of Moment, but I can't see it. So the Predator is firing all of its guns into the Chinook right in front of me. And I've got 2 las cannons, and they both hit. And these are wound on 3s. They both wound, and they're AP -3. 2 6-up and vulnerable saves. Negative. 2d6 +2 is 9 damage.
That's a dead Chinook.
It's only
Oh, no, it's got 1 wound remaining.
1 wound remaining. Okay, we'll do the Predator auto cannon into it. And this will hit on 3s. 4 hits. And wound on 3s. 4 wounds. 4 5-up saves to keep it alive. Dead Chinook. Does this one blow up? Please explode. doesn't explode, and lots of deadly cargo will rain down out from its undercarriage. How many take mortal wounds this time as they fall from the sky?
3.
3 of them. 3 bodies go splat. Let the bodies hit the floor. Right, 2 big vehicles down. Let's try and kill the really big one. That's my overwhelming target. Let's fire strike servo turrets in at it, because I have got re-rolled a hit with everything, and it is 5s to wound, but it's twin linked, so I'm re-rolling all the wounds against it, and I need to. And I don't do any damage. Okay, so that bounces off the hull of the big one. But now we've got a terrifying amount of anti-infantry fire from the drop pod and the jumpy dudes that dropped in deep behind the Ork lines. And there was a lot of dice rolling off camera, and I mean a lot of dice rolling.
A lot of dice rolling.
And when the smoke cleared, your war bosses stood there with 5 wounds remaining next to the weird boy. They're going to split off and do their own thing now, but looking over their shoulder, wondering where the lads have got to, all they see
covered in bits of goo.
Yeah, a field of green goo. And talking about firepower, I'm going to rinse and repeat with the interceptors and the jumpy dudes into this swarm of boys here as well. And that was a lot of firepower as well. And when the smoke clears, there's a knob on 1 wound and Zag struck. Basically, you've got a character, the Mad Doc, the Weird Boy, and the War Boss here. And there was a field of green, but the field of green is gone.
It's not a pleasant field of green anymore.
No more field of dreams. At least the aggressor was smart enough to step back out of the way, so the shots just went flying over his head. That is the end of my shooting phase. Clearing away 2 big mobs of boys and 2 big vehicles was absolutely juicy. Now we're going to charge. It'd be rude not to go charging in. Are these commandos?
There's the commandos.
Mind you, that thing is on 10 wounds remaining, right? And it is the Oath of Moment target. So if I can make the charge into this big thing, I can hurt it.
You can have
so let's charge the big thing. That's what I've been trying to do.
Glorious.
I think I'm going to need a CP reroll.
You might do. Doesn't help you.
We fail the charge. That is the end of the 13th, turn 3. No one's in combat. It seems at the end of the Ork phase, I'm always in combat. At the end of the 13th phase, I'm no longer in combat. And you got some looters over here, some commandos. The big it's looking bleak for the Orks, but Penelope and 10 knobs are still riding inside that gargantuan squig over here. And there's a fire strike servo turret that absolutely must die. As we've gone to Orks turn 4. 4? It is 4.
It is turn 4.
Here we are at the end of the Orks movement phase. The Orks are in their happy place and they can do a lot of damage in this turn. Looters and the shock attack gun are down in this quarter, as well as the commandos, as well as the Orkuna Mortata is still very much alive. So there's going to be a lot of pressure coming in this way. As for the stuff that I dropped in behind your lines, you're not even bothered for that.
Nope.
Instead,
we're running away from it.
Going forward. The big gargantuan squidge-off has busted through some of the terrain, because it can do that. We've taken away some terrain. It's tread on a rock pile. Yeah, it's clambering its way through.
It's less than 4 inches, and it's a titanic, big, chunky thing.
Yeah, so it's just stepping over the top. The tank busters have jumped back inside their tank here. And this is all the pressure down in the middle. Captain Badruck. There's characters galore here, and a unit of 10 intercessors that you want to pick on. So there'll be firepower to the right, firepower to the left, and this lot in the middle, and I'm going to overwatch. My aggressor,
I see,
who is having beef with the Mad Doc himself, is pulling out his flamers,
right?
And he's going to burn him. D6 plus 1 times, 5 times. I need 5s to wound him, but it is twin linked.
Oh dear.
And that is all 5 wounds. 5 up and vulnerable saves. Oh, you make 3 of them.
But he's dead.
But he's gone. He has been burned to a crisp. Then we remembered mechs could heal vehicles. So the big one is back up to 11 wounds remaining. And now we're down to the looters, starting the shooting phase, hitting on 5s. And you get a hit. And you don't get a wound. Okay.
Custom Mega Blaster.
Yes. That hits once and does wound, and I fail the save, and it's D6 damage.
D6 damage for...
And you nuke one of the melter team.
It is hazardous.
Okay. And he doesn't nuke himself at the same time. over the heads of the looters. The orc with a shock attack gun powers up one more time, fires into the Terminators.
D6 plus 1.
3
I'm
shots.
Use my grot.
Yes.
To re-roll that roll. Don't roll a 1.
It's still a 2.
It's telling me.
Yeah.
5s.
You hit twice.
Hit twice.
Winning on 2s. And I need invulnerable saves or death, right?
It's -4.
Okay. 4 invulnerable saves. And make them both.
You make them both.
So no wounds caused on the Terminators. The Commandos right in front unloaded on the Terminators as well with their pistols. But they're Terminators. No wounds caused. Mm-hmm. They're sending in a bomb squig though. Don't roll a 1. You don't roll a 1. It manages to find the target and
D3
does.
mortal wounds.
2 mortal wounds. Blows up under the feet of one of the Terminators. One's on 1 wound remaining. Then the mech pulls out his custom Mega Zapper and hits and wounds a Terminator. And a make the Terminator save. They're still alive. Still hanging in there. So the kill tank, the Hakuna Matata, has had enough, putting everything into the Terminators. I am armor of contempting, and that's a lot of shots. That's 15 shots. 5s to hit. Strength 14. Twos to wound. But it is only AP -2.
It is -2.
It becomes -1 with the armor of contempt. So I need 3s. Oh, you killed 2 of them. That was a straight shot at that range, though. It's hardly like you could have missed. Now there's 2 Terminators left, holding a farm with Sagan Mir. The hazardous check was okay.
No, that was the number of hits from a Scorcher.
Oh, 4 hits with a Scorcher. I saw you roll off camera.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Force the wound.
Strength 5.
2 wounds. And I take another wound. Okay, you're tickling the Terminators.
And
2 left.
Twin big shooter.
1 hit. No wounds. 1 minute. So you're saying you fired 1 wound weaponry in on after you fired the big...
because I didn't spot the dice on this side from where I'm stood.
Right, you should have done it the other way around. So I'm taking that one away because you would have done... I mean, it's 4,000 points. There's a lot going on. And the 1 wound thing would have killed him.
It would.
And then the 2 other things would have killed the other 2 Terminators.
Very kind of you, sir.
No. That's what happened. So 1 Terminator left with Sagan Mir. Then down into the middle. And all you have left here is lots and lots of small arms, which rained into the intercessors, and some of them even hit, but didn't wound. And now we're on to the big gargantuan squig-off. All the anti-infantry fire is going into the aggressor on 1 wound remaining.
Yep.
The big gun on top is going to rain into the Terminators. What are we firing first?
So we've got 10 knobs pistols,
Okay.
and the war boss in there, Penelope, has got 2 pistols, so 12 pistols coming in at the chap on the ground.
That's 4 hits onto him. Can you wound him on 5s?
You
can wound him once. 3-up save or death on my aggressor. He's alive. Then the big gun. 2d6 shots from the gargantuan squig-off. Only 4 shots. The grot loader didn't load it up very well. And you only hit once.
Oh.
And you wound once. I need a 4-up invulnerable save. I make the 4-up invulnerable save. You don't kill any Terminators. Finally, we came down to this corner to do all the shots into the fast strike servo turret. Lots of shots, big wow, and it's still on 3 wounds. That is the end of the shooting phase. I feel like it's going to get charged. We've got a gargantuan squig-off that wants to charge some Terminators. We've got a lot of characters that want to charge some intercessors in the middle of the battle grid. And commandos and the kill rig into the Terminators. And at the end of the charge phase, we have 1, 2, 3 big nasty vehicles, all monsters charging into the 13th lines, and all the characters charging in over here. The Hakuna Matata is going to do a tank shot.
It is going to do a tank shot.
Into Sagan Mir's unit. And you need 5s. And you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 5s, which kills the Terminator and puts Sagan Mir down to 3 wounds. Now we fight the commandos. Commandos surround Sagan Mir and start punching him. What are we starting with first? They've got lots of different weapons.
Power Claw on the knob.
Power Claw on a 4. He hits twice. Wounds on 3s. He wounds once. 4-up and bun. I make the 4-up and bun. He's okay.
Breacher ram.
Okay.
2 attacks, sitting on 4.
They both hit.
Strength 9.
3s to wound.
1 wound. -2. 2 damage.
I failed to save. It's on 1. He's on 1 wound remaining. Hang in there, Sagan.
And then we've
He's
got...
the only character I've got in this army leading this operation all by himself. Then all the choppers strike out on 3s, 6s explode, and wound on 5s. 1. I see 1 wound. 1 at -1, AP -1.
It's got to be worth it, even if it's just a humble chopper to give me more chances
Spending
of getting him down.
2 wounds.
2 wounds.
2 wounds at -1. 2 3-up saves coming up. I failed them both, so even if I CP re-roll one of these, Sagan Mir has fallen.
We're taking that as a victory.
That's a narrative right there. Sol Garrow didn't turn up this time. Instead, he deployed Sagan Mir down on this battle grid, and finally you were able to take him down. Oh dear.
So maybe Sol Garrow made a good choice.
The call comes over the Vox that my chief librarian has fallen, so this hero sergeant, the aggressor down here, he's paying to interrupt. He's like, he's energized. And he's going to punch out at your war boss.
Very good.
And he hits him twice. And he wounds them twice with power fists. 5 up and vulnerable saves.
Makes 1 of them.
Punches him only once. Drops him down to 3 wounds. Then the war boss punches back. And hits twice, but 3 times because of explosions.
Strength 10.
10?
10?
That is 1 wound.
I've already used command point in his
1
face.
wound.
Can't do it.
5 up, and he lives. He doesn't live. Another hero has fallen. After the aggressor fell, we did the fights with Zadstruck, the Weird Boy, and all the characters in the middle into that 10-man intercessor squad, and there's 5 remaining, cutting them down in half. Then we moved over here to Battle Wagon and Mech Boy versus Firestrike Servo Turret. Servo Turret's on 1 wound. It's still hanging in there. It's unkillable. Now a massive gargantuan Squigoth is charging some Terminators. It's got 18 attacks and it's hitting on 3s. And 6s explode. Its strength 9 versus toughness Terminator is actually wounding on 3s. But it is 3 damage a time. However, I've got 3 Terminators in there with shields, which give them an extra wound. I got 10 to make. Let's do some of them. 4-up saves. That kills 1 with a shield, another 1 with a shield, and 1 on 1 wound. And then he's dead. And then these are the claw guys. Okay, there's 1 claw guy remaining. He manages to withstand that. Just the sergeant standing firm. And the sergeant tries to take out the Achilles heels. Snickety snick on the Achilles heels of the big thing. I need 6s. It's twin linked. I do a wound to it. I wound the gigantuan thing. It's -2, I think.
So 5s.
It takes a wound.
29.
It's only got 29 remaining. And then we have all these intercessors here. I think I want to kill that weird boy. 1 minute. Piling in is a thing. So I think we're all hitting Zadstruck. We'll all hit Zadstruck. Zadstruck and his knob. 3s. 5s. 3 wounds, 3 5-up saves.
3 5-up saves. So the first 2.
Dead knob. And Zadstruck takes a wound. Then closing out the combat, the Firestrike Servo Turret Tech Marine jumped out, tried to punch the mech. Didn't punch the mech. He's jumped back inside.
Having a little dance together.
Yeah, and that is the end of Orks turn 4, and it's been absolutely brutal. The 13th are reeling now. I thought in turn 2 it was all over, but you have managed to slowly start clearing your way right through the centre, and these jumpy boys are now out of position. The tactical squad are now out of position. I've got 5 intercessors against all these characters here. Against this war boss, against this weird boy, against that. And there's still 10 knobs inside there. With Penelope, your real war boss, ready to jump out. And you've broken through the Terminator lines over here as well. So I've got a lot of guns against your vehicles, but not much else as we go on to the 13th, turn 4. So the biggest and loudest of the Ork vehicles and monstrosities are getting closer and closer to the corner of the 13th, which they've been holding down all game, and we're recovering Sagan Mir's collapsed body right about now with this Razorback swinging round. The Devastator has jumped out. The driver's got out and pulled Sagan Mir inside this Razorback here, holding on to him. and we need to drive these back. But I don't have enough gun to take on the Gargantuan Squiggoth. I do have enough gun to take on one of them, however. So I've made the Orkuna Matata my Oath of Moment target one more time. And we have got tanks, all looking at it. Fire Strike servo turrets. And over here, the jumpy dudes have pulled back and are going to rain firepower in to the commandos for vengeance, for Sagamir. Hopefully that gets rid of them. I'm hoping I get rid of the looters as well, with maybe the heavy bolters or these 2 melter shots round here. And that should give me a bit of breathing space, because I need breathing space, because I passed the battle shock test with the hero Sergeant Terminator, and he's taken a step back and screaming, "You shall not pass." I am the sacred flame of Arno. He's holding the... You need to shoot him to get through, is what I'm saying. So Oath of Moment target. I did spend a CP on adaptive strategy. So the intercessors who were locked up in close assault have fallen back from Zadstruck. And the unit that deep struck in last turn have moved forward. Operation Kill the Witch. There's a weird boy there. Kill the weird boy. Of course, the Fire Strike servo turret. He keeps getting out and pulling it 3 inches away and 3 inches away from this fight.
Along.
Yeah, I'm still upset that tank busters can't bust tanks. And then I've got another unit of jumpy boys that have come round here, and the only thing that they will be firing at is the commandos, if there are any left alive, and the Orkuna Matata. So let's unload everything into it from the Land Raider, minus the heavy bolters that are going to go into the looters. Godhammer pattern las cannons with Oath of Moment, which will wound it on 4s. And you get 5 up saves because there is cover in the way. And you make 2 of them. One of them, sorry. It's got 11 wounds left. No, this is into the big thing. And this is a total of 11 damage. It's 9 plus 2. That's 11 damage on the Orkuna Matata. It is gone. Does this one blow up? If anything's going to blow up...
Come on!
No explosions.
Nothing inside.
But it's gone. After the big tank went down, firepower got rid of the looters from the Land Raider and from the 2 guys in the Melter team here. Now we're onto the jumpy boys, pouring firepower down into the commandos. Right, there's a lot of things going on here. 1, you've got stealth, so -1 to hit. 2, you've got a distraction grot, which does what now?
Gives them a 5-up invuln.
Brilliant.
Until the end of the phase.
And then the other thing you did is -1 to wound, that Ork stratagem, forget what it's called. Hard as nails, that's the one. So many things happening. So I'm shooting you on 4s. Now it looks bad, but each of the 6s is sustained hits too.
Oh, they'll double up
so
again.
That's 10 more hits. But -1 to wound, it's going to be 5s instead of 6s, 5s instead of 4s. Only 4 so far. But twin linked.
A few more.
Many more. 10, 5+ invulnerable saves. And you make 4 of them. So we've got a boss left with a mech. Right, let's give the boss a las cannon. And wound him on that. AP -3. So still got a 5 invulnerable save, yeah. Actually, then you fail, but I'm going to need to re-roll the wound because of the minus... No, it doesn't wound because you've still got hard as nails. So that didn't wound. The guy with the las cannon, though, he shoots in and he misses. Okay. Well, I've got this unit over here. We've got this unit over here. We'll pour everything into the unit with the
Spitfire? Or...
is the mech separate or was he attached to?
No, he was just running around as a lone operative keeping vehicles alive.
3 and 3 then. 3 into one, 3 into the other. Okay?
I should have kept my mouth shut.
3 into the mech. Those explode. That's exactly that many. 4's to wound the mech with twin linked. Yeah. -1, 2 damage.
-1.
Need a pile of 6s.
Don't get him a pile of 6s.
Drop dice don't count. That's the first one today. We've done well. Then the other 3 into this guy. And then that explodes. And then I'm going to need 5s to wound him because of all the things, stuff and things, with the re-roll.
That including the -1, the Isles Nails?
Yeah. Because it's strength 5 versus toughness 5, which becomes 5s. So 3 wounds.
3 wounds.
3 wounds.
AP?
-1. Got a 5-up invulnerable save, or has the distraction got gone?
No, he's still the same unit. 5 up
Okay.
vulnerable save. It's still the shooting phase.
Okay, that's 4 damage.
He's dead.
Dead now. We got there in the end.
We got there in the end.
And that's pretty good. I've cleared away the Orkuna Matata, the mech, the commandos, the looters. There is still a shock attack gun looking at me funny kind of here. And I've got I could fire some fast strike servo turrets down at him. It would be rude not to. Let's shoot him. It's a big gun with lots of range. I don't like it. Those hit. Strength 9, need 3. They all wound. -1 into your shock attack gun. You need 6s. And no, that's 9 damage.
Oh, he's a dead one.
Mech with shock attack gun is gone. 6 intercessors? No. These guys over here, that's many shots firing into your weird boy.
Yeah.
We've got 20 shots? Well, 8, no, lots of shots. Look, here's the plasma. I'm overcooking it. And this will wound him on 3s, and that's 2 damage, and it's hazardous. And we finally have a hazardous check. One of my guys dies. Okay, he's on 2 wounds remaining, then 5 more wounds came through from the bolters, so he's got to make 5-up saves to stay alive, the weird boy. No, the weird boy has been cut down. Then the intercessors will fire everything at Captain Badrock in the back. Who?
Zagstruck.
They all look the same to me. All Xenos. All must die. I'm wounding him on 5s. Forcing him to make a bunch of 4 invulnerable saves on him. 5+, please. He's going to live though, but he is on 2 wounds remaining. And then we have a Predator tank, and the only thing the Predator tank can fire at is the Gargantuan Squiggoth. Las cannons, one of them hits, but it needs 5 to wound with a las cannon. A wound. You need 6.
Make a 6. Hey!
Yay. Predator auto cannon. That many. This is going to need 5s. You need a 4 on that. A 4 on that, and you make that as well. And that is the end of my shooting phase. Don't mean to alarm anyone, but you actually made some saves.
I know. Better late than never, eh?
You made some saves in turn 4. That is the end of turn 4. I'll pick up my hazardous guy here. But we've got the 13th. It looks like the 13th have executed a perfect trap, drawing the Orks down into their lines, and we've cleared away this corner of the battle grid. We've got no close combats going on. There's a couple of characters poking around. Penelope's inside this Gargantuan Squiggoth, and there's a fire strike servo turret hanging out in the wind over there, but I don't know what he did. Loads of tangle forward and grenades or something to somehow stay alive. So the fight ain't over yet. It's Orks turn 5, and they keep on fighting.
We don't know when we're beaten.
Exactly. Over here, fire strike servo turret on 1 wound remaining. Surely this is the time. The tank buster's still in the battle wagon, ready to fire firepower down into this tactical squad that got out of the drop pod. And I like what happened round here. We had my Terminator standing in front of your Gargantuan Squiggoth, which could stop the Gargantuan Squiggoth coming down here, but can't do anything to Penelope and 10 knobs. So I see him standing there screaming, "Fight me! Fight me!" But the knobs just stream past him because what is one blue guy? Particularly when the war boss, who's in a unit on his own, has called him out. He said, "Hey, leave him. Leave him to me." He stood up to a Gargantuan Squiggoth. So they're streaming around him as he's trying to snicky Wolverine them with his claws to make a charge into the jumpy dudes down here. While Zagstrog, he goes into the last of the Devastators. So still plenty of choice targets for the Orks to take out as we go into the shooting phase. So we start off the shooting phase with loads of pistol fire, mainly up into the air. Killed a few clouds. That's done. No wounds caused. The Gargantuan Squiggoth has probably got 6 intercessors on the charge. I mean, it's a 500-point model. So it's firing its big gun up at a fast strike servo turret for 2d6 shots, and this time someone loaded the ammo hopper. And 3 of the shots actually hit the fast strike servo turret, and one of them wounds it, just 1. The turret needs a 4. The turret doesn't make a 4 and is half dead on 3 wounds remaining. So we're coming all the way around the other side. Fast strike servo turret on 1 wound, or battle wagon with a kill cannon, or what we doing?
What we are going to do is Points mean prizes, so we definitely want to kill this. So I'm actually going to start with the mech.
Okay.
With this custom Mega Slugger.
Okay.
So D3 shots.
He can do it.
2.
I believe in Harvey Dent.
He can't do it.
He misses. He misses. You've got tank busters inside. I mean, what are they shooting at?
Well, the pistol can only shoot this way with its range.
Okay.
So the rocket pistol
It misses.
fails. It's got to die. So 3D3 rockets.
Yes.
Coming in this way.
Okay. So that is 6 rockets this time. That's good.
Hitting on 4. Oh, good.
One of them hits. One of them hits.
And
It doesn't wound. It doesn't wound. It doesn't
CP
wound.
reroll.
Okay.
I've got a couple of CP.
Okay. It does wound.
Hey!
50-50 chance. On a 4-up, it's dead. CP reroll. It's dead. It's dead. You take it down finally. So the kill cannon from the battle wagon then can focus on the tactical squad. Now the fast strike servo turret's gone. D6 plus 3 shots. 5 shots.
Hitting on 4s.
1 hit.
One gets picked up by the lifter dropper
Yes.
and
Smashed into
smashed
the
into the
ground.
ground.
And then stands back up again, uninjured, making the save, wondering what all that was about. Yes, so then a chunk of big shooters came in and 1 more tactical reinfall. So there's 8 remaining there. That is the end of the shooting phase. You killed the fast strike servo turret. Yay.
Hey!
And now we're charging.
It only took 4 turns.
Yeah. The Gargantuan Squigoff charging some intercessors.
Cannot fail.
But there's a potential fail here. And I feel 10 bent on my CP. I can't even Overwatch. And how far is the
Make
charge?
it. That's less than 5.
Okay. Then we started the fight phase. Those 6 intercessors didn't stand a chance. You had killed double that number. Gargantuan Squigoff jumping all over them. Here's the war boss against my Terminator. Not Zagstruck. This is just an unnamed war boss.
Unnamed war boss.
Against my Sergeant Hero. He's striking out with his power claw. And he hits 3 times. He's going to wound on 2s. He wounds 3 times.
He does.
4 up invulnerable saves. And my sergeant stands there on 1 wound remaining. I defy you.
Squig.
Here's the attack squig.
4s.
And he hits once. And he doesn't wound. He shakes the attack squig off of his leg. Stands there defiantly. Right, we're on to Zagstruck then.
6 attacks.
Against a devastator marine.
Hitting on 2s.
And he hits 5 times. Strength 9?
Strength 8.
Strength 8. Well, that is 5 wounds. 5 up saves. You kill him. You'd have killed 5 people with Zagstruck. He's gone. Terminator on 1 wound. And then Penelope and all the knobs with all their power claws come running in to the jumpy dudes. Here's Penelope. She hits 3 times. And wounds 3 times. I need 5 up saves. And that kills 1 and puts 1 down to 1 wound. There's 5 interceptors left. And now they've got to fend off 27 power claw attacks. They hit on 3s. And 6s explode. 3s to wound though. I am in Gravis armor. Need to make a lot of 5s.
Mm-hmm.
So 1 was injured. He's dead. Another one's dead. 2, 3, 4. 4 are dead. Then an attack squig tried to run up the sergeant's trouser leg, but he hit his jetpacks and dived out of the way. And now the sergeant strikes back of the interceptors against Penelope's unit. Hits twice. Wounds once. 1 4-up save. They are knobs. And you make a save. And then we have a Terminator fighting your war boss over here. Unnamed so far. How many wounds has he got?
He's got 3 wounds remaining.
Okay. 3s to hit him. I need 4s to wound him, but it is twin linked. And that's really cocked. And you need to make 4, 5 plus invulnerable saves. And you fail 3.
He's dead.
And that's enough to cut that war boss down. He challenged him. He came flying in and... No, he fought off a Gargantuan Squigoff, don't you know?
He did.
He's a tough old bird. And that's the end of Orks. Turn 5. We've got Penelope and the Knobs finally in close combat, beginning to charge through the Space Marines lines and say, Gadmir, my HQ, my commander for this unit, has been injured and dragged inside the Razorback. Zagstruck's on the prowl. The gargantuan Squigoth is barely uninjured, and finally you've managed to clear away all of that of the battle grid. And then what we did was we counted up how many units you had left remaining, because we both started off on 27, and you've got 9 units left.
I have.
And I've got 10. I've got 10 units left. And it was a point for everything that you kill.
It was.
So at this point, without even rolling a dice, without taking a turn, it will be a victory for the 13th by 1 point. Because I feel like in turn 5, with you rampaging down towards my lines, with Sagan Mir injured, there'll be a call that goes over the command vox that we've done what we needed to do here. Let's retreat. We've destroyed. We've sown death and murder in amongst the Orks on liberation. In fact, there is only 2 bosses left. And very, very few things for them to boss. So the call comes through the Vox to withdraw. And then we're going to take off.
Does that mean you concede?
And nuke the site from orbit. It's the only way to be saw. We're definitely not conceding. It is a victory for the 13th. A glorious victory. And this is the way this world ends. Exterminators for the win. You know what?
What's that?
If you'd have killed that sergeant, and I don't mean to rub a bit of lemon in the wound, but if you'd have got rid of the fast strike servo turret like
3
7
turns
turns
ago
earlier, then you might have been able to push down a bit quicker. And that's 2 more units, and that would have been free. And then turn 5.
One guy here, one guy here.
It would have been a nail biter if only you'd have killed the.
If only.
There are names made today, though. This guy, he's made a name. The Farsight servo turret guy's made a name.
He definitely did.
I'm not sure any of your unnamed war bosses have made a name, though.
Not really. I mean, no.
No. But Penelope is doing Penelope things. She's going to come away from this like all her rivals have basically been taken out.
Yeah, she's the boss of the war.
She's quite happy right now.
Her new toy, the Combine Harvester, is still alive.
Yeah, that's still chonking around all over the place. And I thought it was all over in turn 2, turn 3. But, I mean, what a comeback. It was. You were pushing quite hard towards the end there.
The oomph that thing has on its own, it's capable, and it's very difficult to get rid of once you've lost some of your anti-tanks. So I think in a smaller list...
The problem about 450, 500 point units in smaller lists is it's such a points thing. And if you lose it, you lose quarter of your list. You know what I mean? It's a bit...
But it's also very tricky to put enough firepower to get rid of it quickly.
I found, off camera, we found that adding a knight in or adding a big chunky thing in it starts kicking in. It starts doing well at about 2,500 points or 3,000 points, because then you can lose it and you can still play some more. And so 3,000 point games are good. Anyway, how was it for you?
It was great. Yeah. Turn 3, I rolled a bunch of not very good saves, and you rolled a bunch of reasonably good.
That's another thing. If you just rolled average,
when my war was there, I didn't get benefit from it.
No,
I mean, I don't think we said I didn't make a single WA save.
I can't recall you making one save.
But I think, for myself, when your deployment was done, all of the armour down here, I thought, I'll let you have this to an extent and I'll make a push.
Okay.
So in terms of, I got my comeuppance because my plan kind of worked. What didn't happen was, I didn't stick around long enough to keep you tangled up. So, there's different ways to play a game.
Yeah.
I think the 13th, you did a cracking job.
Yeah.
But we'll be back. We'll be back.
Well, not on this planet.
There's other planets.
We've done this planet now, okay? War Earnblad has been... It's been eradicated from this sector, surely.
Eradicated? Penelope?
This was the trilogy. I won the thing.
Yeah, and then it's 1 all and a draw. It sounds like honours even to me.
What do you mean 1 all and a draw? It's fine. This is a clear... I didn't... Look, Saul Garrow didn't even need to come down today.
And
he was commanding from orbit.
The unanswered part of this story is, where was Saul Garrow?
He was up in space, taking a look, and he's now, actually, he's the one firing torpedoes on your head. Anyway, it was a glorious victory for the glorious 13th, and that was a lot of fun. As ever, Sullivan Gilbert, thank you for coming down.
Thank you for having me.
You're glorious to play against. You've come to loads of events and stuff. You're coming to March of Winters in October as well. So you caught a cat before.
Firestorm.
You caught a cat, so you're going to be herding cats. You're coming to Firestorm as well.
Coming to Firestorm.
I'll see you at both.
Yeah.
I'll see you at both of them. And we do hope you enjoyed that battle report. Happy wargaming.